Hey Froggy friends, Kirostyle here, welcome back to... Ah! It just keeps going! Welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Gambit. Thank you so much for joining me here on stream. CB and Kieran, thank you so much for all the bits. I really appreciate it. Psycho Reaper, congratulations for being first. Welcome in. Hikaru, it's good to see you. Kiro, hello, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Hope you guys are all doing well today. We are going to start episode 2 of this game. We just finished episode 1 yesterday. Now, episode 2 is estimated around 5.5 hours, and I thought I would do this all in one stream, but I don't really feel up to doing a full... I'm probably going to take at least 6 hours, I think, because it takes a little bit longer to read it. So I'm going to split this episode into 2 streams. Depending on the length, I may or may not still split them on YouTube, or maybe I'll combine them together into one video on YouTube. I guess we'll see. We'll play it by ear. We'll play it by ear. Yeah, it's September right now, so I think Twitch is giving extra bits for all your bits, so I really appreciate it. Thank you guys. I really appreciate all your support. I also forgot at the end of yesterday's stream, I forgot to show you what the title looks like now. So this is what the title looks like now that we finished episode 1. Hey, Tsuki, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for stopping by. Oh, thank you for the stretch. Alright, let's get going. So episode 2 is The Captive Turnabout, and the fan translation calls this episode The Imprisoned Turnabout. Oh, thanks for calling, Kirby. Episode 2, The Captive Turnabout. Aren't we off to a great start? He spilled all his grape juice. March 27th, 10:16 a.m. Detention Center, Visitor's Room. What the dog doing? What is this? Hound of the Baskervilles again? Still no sign of them, huh? Yeah! How long do they intend to keep us waiting? Now, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm sure the guard will bring him in any second now. The killing of Bastion Rook. It's been 2 days since the incident at the park, and today, we're paying a visit to the detention center. Our aim, of course, is to interview Bronco Knight, who has been charged with the murder. His trial is due to start tomorrow, and I'm to be the prosecutor behind the bench. What's taking so long? You there, what's going on? I don't know, sir. I'll go and check. We got a situation. It's Knight. He's been killed. What? Killed? In the detention center. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, what are we waiting for? Right, guard, take us to the scene of the crime at once. Yes, sir. So it didn't happen in the holding cells. Surely that was where he was being held. What's the holdup? The crime scene's this way. Well, where are you taking us? Doesn't this door lead to... the prison proper, yes. You mean those other cells aren't part of the prison? Not exactly, no. Those are the detention center's holding cells. That's where defendants are kept while they're awaiting trial. The area beyond this door serves a rather different purpose. Yeah, it's where the people who are convicted serve out their time. I suppose you could say it's the last place a great thief should ever want to be. I've unlocked it, sir. Please follow me. That's Knight, all right. But he's dead. How could this have happened? And how did he end up inside the prison proper? March 27th, 10:32 a.m. Prison workshop. This is horrible! How did Mr. Knight get himself murdered? I can hardly believe it myself. There can be no doubting the evidence of our own eyes. What's he doing here? I thought he was being held in the detention center, no? He was. He must have been. His trial hadn't even begun yet. The law states that until convicted, suspects are to be kept in cells separate from the main prison. Only those who have been found guilty are sent to the prison proper. There's no way Knight should have been in here. Maybe he wandered his way over here. The detention center and the prison are separated not only by two heavy doors, but also a lengthy corridor. I'm glad we're finally actually seeing what the detention center actually looks like from behind. Because of course we've been to the detention center so many times in Ace Attorney history. That would have been a long way to wander, especially for a detainee. I suppose we better take a closer look at Knight's body. We'll need to examine the scene of the crime carefully if we want to get to the bottom of this. We're straight into it. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? So this is what the inside of a prison looks like. Good to know, good to know. Someone's highly motivated to learn today. You're just not on top of your game, Mr. Edgeworth. This stuff's important. Gotta be prepared for when the time comes. Which will never come from me, I must say. Still, I won't discourage you from finding out more. I still need to gather a little more information myself. And then use my powers of logic to piece it together. Yeah, it's like... our first case started off with an attempted assassination, and then this one... a murder in the prison right away. Like, Investigations 2 does not hold back. Yes, sir? Arrested for murder on the afternoon of the 25th, and killed on the morning of the 27th. Talk about instant karma. Never would have thought our perp would turn to a victim himself, though. Yes, I don't like this at all. He survived getting hit by the Thinker, but he couldn't escape his fate. You don't think it was that ice cream guy, do you, sir? Knight's seen his face, right? Maybe he couldn't afford to let him live. Shelly the killer, you mean? No. If this were his doing, he would surely have left a calling card. Besides, Knight isn't the only one who knows what he looks like. We do too. Oh yeah, I guess we're still alive, so Still, this is a high security facility. I just don't understand how it's even possible. Guess it makes sense having the detention center and the prison in the same building. Means they can share the visitors' room. Indeed. It's an unusual design, but it's certainly convenient for anyone visiting. Yeah, but then, why have two different areas in the first place? For the two different classes of detainees, of course. Those pre-trial and those post-trial. The two facilities may be housed in the same building in this case, but they're actually quite different. Well, all I know is they're both cramped and dark, and don't let you leave when you want. Perhaps spending a night in each would help clarify the differences between them. No, I'm good, thanks. Anything out of the ordinary to report, officer? Yes, sir. There's this one thing. Go on. There's a body in the workshop, sir. He's right. That's definitely out of the ordinary. If anything else occurs to you, you know where to find me. This part of the floor is covered with dirt. You know what that means, sir? Footprints! Too many footprints, unfortunately. We'll need a specialist to identify them. Guess we just gotta wait till forensics gets here. Yes. In the meantime, if you could refrain from treading all over it. Wouldn't want to slip up and get the old jacket dirty, huh? Good point, Mr. Edgeworth, thanks! My concern was for the footprints, not your jacket, detective. There seem to be lists of prisoner reservations for this workshop. What are all those numbers, Mr. Edgeworth? Prisoner numbers, I'd imagine. I'd hate to be given a number like that. I'd rather agree. People are meant to have names. I'd much rather be called Great Thief or the Second Yatagarasu. Alright, no name for you then, I guess. Time to inspect every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Indeed. This area is too big to take in all at once. Hey, K stole his line. Fortunately, I can use R to further look up and down. I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Weird having something like this in a prison, huh? A cage inside a cage? Technically, Kay, a prison isn't made of cages, but cells. What's the difference? No offense, Mr. Edgeworth. You gotta look at the basic nature of things more. Yes, and the basic nature of investigation is the pursuit of accurate facts and information. Looks like a pulley of some kind. Maybe the prisoners use it for work. I suppose so, yes. Okay, so I know you're gonna say no, but... Absolutely not, Kay. You are not permitted to swing on that rope. Aw, I knew it. I should have known you were being serious. These tarps are rather colorful. They kind of stand out in a room like this, don't they? They certainly don't look like they belong in a prison. Look, there's a whip on top of them. You know who that reminds me of, right? Hey, maybe it's actually hers. Maybe she left it here. Not a chance. She and her whip are attached at the wrist. Trust me. There was a rope near Knight's body, too. Speaking of which, want to see my super stealthy rope escape trick? Thanks, but I'll let you know when I'm in need of saving. She seems genuinely disappointed. It's a sink. It doesn't seem to contain any useful clues. Nope, no whiff of treasure here either. You do know we're not actually looking for treasure, right? What's with all the weird equipment? I'm not sure, but I don't see anything particularly suspicious here. It smells weird though. Kinda musky, like wet fur. I didn't know you had such a keen nose. Oh, it's nothing special really, except when it comes to sniffing out treasure. Remind me to seal all my valuables away in airtight containers. No way, Mr. Edgeworth, I'd never steal any of your stuff. But you would happily steal someone else's? I'm not sure that's entirely reassuring. Bronco Knight, killed the day before his court date. We'd better take a closer look. The body is partially covered by a dirt-stained tarp. And there's a rope on top of it. Was Knight tied up with the rope somehow? We should take a look under the sheet as well. Ah! Look at that red stuff! Yes, I'd say that's blood. No grape juice this time. We should keep looking around. There's bound to be more secrets to uncover, I'm sure of it. Ugh, his neck brace is soaked with blood from the hole in his neck. I would assume it's the cause of death, and that was probably instantaneous. he wouldn't even have the chance to cry out for help. There's a small cut on his scalp, too. Was he struck with something? Maybe he fell on his head after he was stabbed in the throat. It's possible, but it's too early to say with any certainty. Okay, you have your camera with you, correct? Could you lend it to the detective so he can photograph the body? Sure thing! All yours, Gummy! Thanks! Alright, here we go! His clothes sure are a mess though, huh? Indeed. They appear to be covered in dirt. Guess he's like me when it comes to laundry. It would be a grave error to think anybody else could be quite like you, Detective. Yeah, the whole crime scene looks a little brutal, probably because of his neck brace. There's something on his finger. Let's take a closer look, Mr. Edgeworth. It's a ring! An expensive looking one at that. Don't even think about it, Kay. What? I didn't say anything. A rubber glove. Yep. Just the one, though. I should examine it in more detail. Gumshoe, give me that green screen. There's mud all over it. Maybe the prisoners were making mud pies. Wish I could have joined them. I love making mud pies. Not anywhere near my crime scene, you're not. The fingers are covered in blood on this side. I think we can safely assume this glove was dropped sometime after Knight's blood had been spilt. We can? How come? Because had it been on the floor when the pool of blood was forming, then the blood would have flowed around it, but not underneath it. Oh, meaning there'd only be a band of blood around the edges of the fingers, not all over the back side. Assuming the glove was discarded after blood had pooled around the body. Maybe our murderer dished it after they did the deed. It's certainly a possibility. At the very least, whoever it was that dropped it must have seen the body. You there. Yes, sir. Have you seen that glove before? Yes, sir. The prisoners wear them for work. It's strange, though. Prisoners issued with the gloves are under strict orders to keep them in their cells. They aren't allowed to take them outside without permission, and we always check. I suppose that would explain why there aren't any other gloves in the workshop. Hey, Aru, welcome to the stream. No, sorry, Ash, I just saw the letter A. Hey Ash, welcome to the stream. Inmate use only. I guess that means... Then it must be one of the prisoners who was using it, right? Yes, you would certainly imagine so. Huh? Is that... Oh, I've seen one of those in your office, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm sure you have, Detective. It's a pocket chess set. The victims, I'd imagine. Makes sense. He loved chess after all. Yeah, it would have been a good way to pass the time. These tarps have a pretty distinctive design. In fact, it's the same design as the bloody tarp around Mr. Knight's body. Yes, you took the words right out of my mouth. That'll teach you to be so careless, Mr. Edgeworth. You need to keep your treasures close when there's a great thief around. I thought you were on sabbatical. Not a bad bit of evidence gathering. Ha! Nothing can stop us when we're on the hunt together, right, Gummy? You betcha! We're unstoppable! A 3 regular musketeers! Let's not get carried away, Detective. There's one thing we still haven't found. Huh? What do you mean, sir? What's missing from this crime scene? I see no sign of a murder weapon anywhere. You're right! I didn't even think of that! Come now, Detective. These are basic investigative principles we're talking about here. Yeah, I guess. Sorry, sir. Don't worry, Gummy. It hadn't crossed my mind either. A fact that hardly puts my mind at ease, Kay. Items that could prove even potentially lethal are strictly controlled within a prison. After all, we wouldn't want the inmates getting their hands on them, would we? Which means acquiring a murder weapon would be hard enough, let alone leaving the scene with one. Oh yeah, nice thinking, Mr. Edgeworth. What was the murder weapon? And where has it gone? The answers to these questions may be the keys to figuring out what happened here. Huh? Didn't know the guy had a whole entourage. Excusez-moi, but this is the scene of the crime, right? You're... Wait a second. Are you... No way. Those piercing eyes. That furrowed brow. Mr. Fender. It has been far too long. I know, right? Even after all this time, I know that deep bow anywhere. And that neckwear, obvious. Manfred von Karma. The man, the legend. Gotta say, I didn't expect to see you here. What are you talking about, pal? This is Mr. Edgeworth, not the old geezer. Detective, please. Edgeworth? Wow! Guess that explains the fresh face. Huh. Can't blame a guy for mixing you two up, though. You're the spitting image of the old devil in his day. I see you haven't changed. How many years has it been? Man, good question. Who's counting, eh? Been away traveling so long I lost track, you know how it is. But you know what? I do remember. You betraying everything you were supposed to stand for. Whoa, where did that come from? And who are you anyway? This is Eddie Fender. He's a defense attorney. Enchanté, as they say. Fender's the name. Defending's the game. I'm a bit of an ace attorney. So, his name's Eddie Fender. Obviously, it's supposed to be Defender. In the fan translation, his name was Raymond Shields. Shields because still he defends people, right? And I think Eddie Fender's a better name for pun, but I think he looks more like a Raymond than he does an Eddie. When I think of an Eddie, I think of like a young person. When I think of like Raymond, I think of like a middle-aged man. Plus, it makes it sound better when they call him Uncle Ray. I'm not one to complain about the official translated names though, but I will bring up the fan translated names for all the major characters. I'm not going to point it out for every character, but I'll point it out for the major characters. Because you'll probably encounter them if you're trying to search for fan art and stuff. Detective Dick Gumshoe! And I'm Kay Faraday, great thief! I'm on sabbatical at the moment though. A great thief? Wow, that's so romantic! Très chic, if you will. Right? It's finally nice to meet someone who gets it. I'm looking to expand the franchise, actually. I even made signing up super simple. Sounds awesome. I'd love to come hang with you guys if you'll have me. Sorry, I should have also mentioned it's girls only. And they have to be super fun and super cool and... Hey, I totally get it. No hard feelings, yeah? Come on, bring it in. You've got to be kidding. My bad. I'm just so used to how to do things elsewhere, you know? Ugh. Why are you here, Mr. Fender? Almost forgot, this is your scene. Keeping the defense out is strategy number 1 in the Von Karma playbook, after all, isn't it? Hey! Quit it with all the Von Karma stuff, pal! What gives?
Hold it!
Detective, calm yourself. His attitude is, unfortunately, understandable. It is! I take it you are Mr. Knight's attorney. Guilty as charged, Your Honor. Well, I was supposed to be anyway. So he was planning to represent Knight, if his client hadn't been murdered. He and I would have faced off against each other in court. I better see what he has to say for himself. Hey Reen, welcome to the stream. I love Fender's character musical theme. It's so jazzy. So the victim asked you to represent him. Sure did. We were supposed to have a little chat today. As was I. But a guard showed up instead and told us that his body had been found. I'm as bummed about it as you. Even brought him some weenies to cheer him up. Mr. Fender, you know you can't bring food into the prison. Oh yeah, well, it's here now. Want some? Little vice I picked up on my travels. So, Moorish. No, thank you. Fine, you do you. What are you doing here anyhow? Don't tell me you want to hear Knight's side. Von Karma is always more of a convict the defendant at all costs guy. He didn't teach you that? That was a long time ago. If you say so. Sure you don't want any weenies? No, thank you. Have you met with your client previously? Yes, indeed, Your Honor. Just yesterday, in fact. The Bronxster called me in the minute he was arrested. Sounded really freaked out, man. Oh yeah, mentioned your little performance, too. According to him, you really made a nuisance of yourself. Not a kind word was spoken, I'm sure. Well, sticks and stones and all that. Boy, do you not like you. Trash talk you something fierce, huh? Can't say I didn't join in the fun, though. Fun? How dare you, Mr. Fender? Lighten up, kid. I got a fixture in the visitor's room here. And I don't think I've ever had that much of a gas. Oh, so you come here a lot? Hey, don't go getting the wrong idea, little sis. I'm never on the wrong side of the bars. Just happen to know someone who is. The visitor's room is usually where I'm at, but this isn't really my first time in the clink either. In which case, I better ask him what he knows about this room. Tell me, what do you know about the scene of the crime? Huh? Oh, this room? No, dude. What do you know about it? I'll give you 3 choices. Well... Is it a recreation room? Whoa! I don't even want to know how you spend your spare time, Mr. Edgeworth. But I guess there's plenty here you could play with if you use your imagination. Probs. Now, let's see what the answer key has to say, shall we? But no fairer, the answer was none of the above. No, you got it wrong. This is actually a workshop. So all the options he gave me were wrong. How infantile. The cons here come to perform various duties. They can learn new skills too, bank some qualifications when they're back on the street. I see. And how is access to this room controlled? Who has the key? Chill out, Edgeworth. I don't have all the answers. My man over there probably does though. Right, compadre? Yes, sir. The workshops aren't locked with physical keys. Their doors are fitted with sensors instead. What kind of sensors? Inmates are issued with special bracelets, sir. When they walk through the workshop door, the sensor checks their bracelet. If they're not supposed to be there, ding-a-ling-ling, an alarm sounds. If they let it ring for too long, then bzz, they get a real shock, if you know what I mean. And if they try to break or remove the bracelet, bzz, shock 3 times worse than that. What? That's brutal. I guess they need to ensure the inmates follow the rules, but that does sound a bit excessive. If they wish to pass through the door like this one, prisoners need to be accompanied by a guard. We disable the sensor for them and let them in. You get all that? Have any prisoners used this workshop today? No, sir. No one's been in here for days. I'd know if they had. So no prisoners have entered, let alone used this workshop today. Hey Vanilla, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by today. Which means that there's a contradiction in this crime scene. Namely, there's something here that shouldn't be. I'll take another quick look over the crime scene and employ my powers of deduction to solve this mystery. I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Could this be related to the evidence somehow? Eureka! Prisoners aren't able to come and go from this workshop as they please. The door sensor would detect their bracelets, and the alarm would sound. What's more, according to the guard, no prisoners were authorized to be in this room at all today. And yet here we have a rubber glove, of the kind issued to inmates. This is a clear contradiction. So where did the glove come from, sir? I don't know, detective. Not yet, anyway. All I know for now is the glove is a valuable piece of evidence. You. Apart from prisoners and guards, who else has access to this room? No one, sir. This is a prison, after all. Prisoners and guards are pretty much all there is. Mr. Fender. Come on, don't play us like that, friend. We both know that's not true. You know as well as I do, the prisoners and guards aren't the only ones who can come in here. Huh? Oh, do you mean... But sir, they're... Mr. Fender, would you care to get to the point? Who exactly are you talking about? What? You don't have a pair of peepers in that hard head of yours. You didn't see them on the way in? Wandering about in the corridors, chilling with their buds. I bet if you moseyed on out of the door right now, you'd trip over one of them before you take a step. Listen, pal, we had just enough of your baloney. Take a chill pill, big guy. I'm on your side. Hey, Timbit, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by today. You know, for such a wide fella, you have a very narrow mind. Oh, what did you... Hold it! Detective. Oh, sorry, sir. Look, just follow me, okay? Seeing is believing. Isn't that what they say? March 27th, 11:06 a.m. Prison corridor. This is no ordinary slammer. Here, the humans share their space with some special friends. Animals. Yep. Furred and feathered fellas of all shapes and sizes. Guard filled me in on how it came about. Seems they decided to try a little experiment in animal therapy a few years back. The cons are assigned a critter each, a buddy to help keep their spirits up. Really? Wow, that sounds like so much fun! Plus, inmates can even earn pet care qualifications if they go through some job training with the animals. Oh, that must be what all the equipment in the workshop is for. You got it! Room set up specifically for that training stuff. So, when you say somebody else could have been at the scene of the crime... Exactamundo, big guy. I was talking about these guys. That just means you're still talking baloney. What would an animal do with a rubber glove? A good question. All I'm saying, it was possible. The rest is Mr. Prosecutor's problem. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, if you want me to arrest this piece of baloney, just say the word. Let me get this straight. Are you saying these animals can wander freely around the prison? You know those sensors on the doors? They detect the prisoner's bracelets and sound the alarm when somebody goes walk around. Well, for our furry friends, it's the other way around. They're fitted with microchips to open the doors up. They are? Uh-huh. They're implanted just under the skin around the shoulders. Big needle, quick jab, voila! What? Doesn't it hurt? Nope, they don't feel a thing. That's what they tell me anyway. Now, where was I? Alright, so the point is, they're not the baddies here, so there's no reason to punish them. It's ironic, really. Here in this institution where the humans are caged, the animals are free to roam to their heart's content. They're not completely free, though. They can't leave the prison proper, for one thing. No sensor on that big mother of a door out there, you see? Ugh! What's that tinkling sound? Sir? Just look at that thing. And is that a bell around its neck? That explains the sound, I suppose. Mr. Edgeworth, were you seriously trying to stare it down? I refuse to lose to a dog. Hey Angora, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by today. Not for nothing, sir, but your dog handling skills could use some work. Leave it to a pro. I know how to treat them right. Come on now, come to Gummy. Man, ignored by a dog. That dog was certainly very different to the other animals. And it seemed to have a real thing against me, and only me. Alrighty then, you met the menagerie. What's next? I guess we better interview some witnesses, right, sir? Indeed. We need more information regarding what was happening around the time the body was found. Let's start with that guy. Hey you, there in the cell. Ignored again. Hello. We were wondering if you might be able to tell us anything about this morning's incident. Is anyone else a little afraid of this guy? Huh, not a big talker, huh? It's alright, man. I'm on your side here. Let's start with the handshake, huh? Maybe a hug to break the ice? Seconds out. What's that supposed to mean? Hey, I get it, man. Not everyone's a hugging type. I'm cool with that. Round 1, 10 reps each. What is this man up to? I better see what he has to say for himself. Your name. From the blue corner, it's Rocco D259 Carcerado. Don't mind if I keep moving, do ya, boss? Fighter can't let his heart rate drop, see? It doesn't look like there's any danger of that. Don't you worry, you'll lose too much weight doing that. Gotta make weight before a fight, boss. Won't even make it into the ring if you don't. So you're... Wait, I get it. You must be a boxer, right? Was, back in the day. It's good to stay fighting fit. Leastways, that's how I see it. So, is the bear part of your training too? It looks kind of like an apron. It's so cute. Ain't nothing cute about Teddy. Kid's my partner, see? This here polar bear keeps me on my toes. He seems to have loosened up a little. Now's my chance. Where were you and Teddy at the time of the incident? Come on, boss, I ain't no stoolie. I don't know nothing, no how. I'll be the judge of that. Please answer the question. You're punch drunk or something, boss, I told you. I don't know zip. So he won't play ball. Guess there's only one thing to do, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? Indeed. The more he protests his ignorance, the more certain I am that he's hiding something. I really love this guy's design, him and his bear. The way the bear's tongue just kind of hangs out of its mouth, too. So cute. Maybe I should get Kirby to hang off my front like that, right? Alright, let's see exactly what you do and don't know, shall we, Mr. Carcerado? Domain expansion, mind chess. Let us analyze the state of play. He adopts a boxing stance when he's on high alert. My guess is that things won't go well if I push too hard at such moments. When my opponent is on the offensive, I should remain calm and bide my time. He's bound to reveal an opening eventually, which is when I'll pounce. Oh, thanks for calling Kirby. First, let's see if our friend here knows anything about the incident. I'll start by asking about his movements. And bring this fight to an end before he knows what hit him. Mind chess. Why don't you start by telling me what you've done today? You will answer me, Mr. Carcerado. What? You want a shot at the champ? Is that it? Then put him up, pal. Throw in the towel already? That's gotta be a record. Fisticuffs is hardly my style, but I'm more than happy to take you on in a game of chess. Incidentally, Don't you get tired, ducking and diving like that all the time? You think I don't got the stamina, kid? Oh, just you try me. I ain't tired. Not today, not ever. Especially not today. Took it real easy this morning. Had me some quiet cell time. Hardly broke a sweat. Really? You look pretty sweaty to me. Yeah, give me a break, will ya? I'm done talking, okay? I'm tired. Yeah, real tired. You may have kept your boxing skills sharp, Mr. Carcerado. I'm afraid your lying needs quite a bit of work. Tired? Really? I hardly think that's possible. Especially not after you told me about your quiet cell time this morning. Ugh. Oh, we gotta be careful here, Teddy. When this guy lands, he lands. Oh no, he's taking off his weights! He's Rock Leeing us. He's hiding something, I'm sure of it. I tried asking about what was happening at the time of the incident, both in and outside his cell. I will need to use my fists in the next round. No, I'll deliver this knockout using carefully chosen words alone. Do you remember what you were doing at the time of the incident? I was, catching some Z's. We both was. The incident only happened a short while ago. You seem wide awake, all things considered. Fighter's gotta be able to keep up, or get up quick when he's down. But he needs beauty sleep too, builds muscle. Is that so? Then I apologize for waking you. I read the rest is an important part of any boxer's training regimen. You don't say. So Mr. Prosecutor's savvy when it comes to the fight game, huh? Who knew? Interesting. How do you know I'm a prosecutor? I don't remember telling you. You've been eavesdropping, haven't you? You've been listening to every word we said out here in the corridor. Which means you weren't asleep, and you're lying. Again. You're good, kid. Caught me clean with that one. Alright, I admit it. I wasn't catching no Z's. But you know what? The guy can't work out in his cell no more without lawyers getting involved. Or is the man taking care of himself a crime now? The fact that we now know he was awake is an important development. It could well prove to be a useful clue. Did you notice anything strange around the time of the incident? What do you mean, strange? Answer the question. Tell me what was going on around that time. I wish I could help you, boss. But I was asleep. We both was. Time to deploy my clue. Enough of your barefaced lies. You weren't asleep, you were exercising. You told me as much yourself. Ugh. Counterpunch, huh? Should have seen that one coming. It seems I have you on the ropes, Mr. Carcerado. It's time to come clean about what you know. Alright, alright. You don't gotta shout about it. Stomping around like you own the place. Teddy and his pals have been scared enough this morning already. You've done well to endure this long, but I fear you'll be soon down for the count. You say the animals have been scared enough already, which implies something happened here earlier. Well, what was it, Mr. Carcerado? Ugh! Ugh! Quit it, will ya? I'm getting shellacked here. Fine. Somebody yelled, okay? Real loud, real scared. Got all the little guys scared too. Yeah, laugh it up, Mr. Big Shot Lawyer. Let me see you do the same thing in the ring. Checkmate. I think we've now established you know more than you're letting on, don't you? Fine, I'll talk. I'll talk. You did it, Mr. Edgeworth. Let's not get carried away, Kay. Our work here has only just begun. Hey, can we call a timeout here for a sec, guys? There's something super big I need to say. It's just, well, it's like fate brought us here today after all these years, Edgeworth. It's a real privilege watching how you work. Eye-opening stuff, in fact. Just thought you should know, I'll be telling you-know-who what you've become. Who-know-who? Keen to get to the lowdown, huh? Well... Hold it! That's enough. This has nothing to do with K. Whoa! Don't have a cow, man. Why so sensitive? Report whatever you wish to whomever you wish. Just do it on somebody else's time. Whatever you say, boss man. But I think he should know at least. You know, how you've been living your life since you signed into doing things the Von Karma way. After all, you disappointed him enough for one lifetime already, am I right? Ouch! What's he talking about, Mr. Edgeworth? Nothing that need concern you, Kay. Our focus should be on Mr. Carcerado. Now, shall we continue? It's time to hear the truth at last. You won't land a glove on me, kid. The incident. There was a show, finished right around 10 AM. Came back here after, did me some training. Leastways I tried to, barely got to the count of 2 before someone screams, "What the? Ah!" Guy was hollering and howling, crying for help. What can I do? I'm locked up in here, right? So I tunes it out, I gets back to work. Find it curious that you would pay so little heed to a desperate cry for help. Like I said, boss, what can I do? Besides, this is a joint. Don't nobody thank nobody for getting involved in what's none of their concern. I hear you, brother. Best you can do is rubberneck it from here anyway, am I right? You mentioned training, Mr. Carcerado. I can't help but notice how well equipped your cell is. There's a guy, the Fixer they call him. What's a Fixer? Fellow who can get his hands on just about anything you need. For a price. No way! Think you could find me a... Perhaps, Mr. Carcerado, what you ought to ask for is a beginner's guide to giving better testimony. Because I can promise you, you'll be down for the count in 1. You put me down? Try it, you bum. What am I? Chopped liver? There was a show, finished right around 10 AM. Hold it! What kind of show was it exactly? Depends on the day. They bring them in from outside, see. Singers, dancers, all kinds. Gives us cons a little something to look forward to. Nice, that sounds like fun. And you went along to see today's show? Sure I did. Can't miss a chance to get a glimpse of the outside world now, can I? Then it was over. Came back here after, did me some training. Hold it! What did this training involve? Let's see now. Today was stamina and rhythm work, which means jump rope. What? In that tiny cell? How? What about Teddy? Is that dangerous for him? Kid's no dummy. Second I get my rope out, he jumps up and holds on tight. You jump rope with a polar bear clinging to your chest. I told you, didn't I? We're partners. And besides, a little extra weight's good for me. Anyway, I start jumping rope. Leastways I tried to, barely got to the count of 2 before someone screams, "What the? Ah!" Hold it! Tell us more about the scream you heard. It was a scream of a guy about to scream his last. And I should know. Whoa there, good buddy. There's a time and place, you know? So it was clearly audible. Guy backed into a corner, fighting for his life. You ever hear something like that, boss? Well, I have. And yeah, it was clearly audible. Guy was hollering, howling, crying for help. Hold it! And that's all you heard. There was nothing else. Nope, nothing much anyhow. So there was something. What else did the victim say? You have to tell me. Oh, I do, huh? Why don't you come on over here and see if I can make you squeal like he did? Whoa. Forgive the kid here. He doesn't know when to quit. Come on, Miles, apologize to the good man. This is clearly important, yet he insists on remaining infuriatingly vague. Look, friend, how about you let this slide? Please, for me. So yeah, I heard the voice, like I said. What can I do? I'm locked up in here, right? So I tunes it out, and I gets back to work.
Hold it!
You were able to concentrate on your training, even after hearing all that screaming. Look, if we were on the outside, maybe things would have been different. Maybe I'd seen what I could do. But this ain't the outside. I can't go no place, even I want to. And you didn't think to slip out from your cell to go sneak a peek? I don't think anybody else would have thought of doing that except you, Kay. If only this wasn't a prison, Mr. Knight might have lived. I somehow doubt it. Frankly speaking, there was no one saving him. What? But if somebody could have just gotten him in time. Mr. Carcerato is clearly lying. What I don't understand is why. Let's see what I can uncover by pointing out the contradiction in his testimony.
Objection!
Are you listening carefully, Mr. Carcerato? Huh? You trying to be cute or something? The victim died from a wound to the throat, and very quickly at that. He had neither the time nor the ability to scream as you claim he did. Ugh! You say you heard the victim's cries, and yet that would have been impossible. But there must have been a scream. He said there was. He said there was. Ugh, quit looking so smug, will ya? Fine, I admit it. I didn't hear nothing, alright? But the guy in the next cell did. He told me so. The next cell? You mean... what do you want? I heard a scream, what of it? We came back from the show, they put us in our cell, same as always. Then, just as I told this guy, I heard it. A scream, a real scary one. Scary how, exactly? Didn't tell him this part, I guess, but it was kinda like... Eesh! Someone, anyone, come quickly, he's... something like that. Well, I guess it's safe to say that probably wasn't the victim. Indeed. It sounds more likely to have been the person who found his body. Ah, that explains it. So Mr. Carcerato was telling the truth. More or less. Is that really the case, though? Are there really no problems with his testimony? I'm afraid a new problem has reared its head. Namely, why didn't you hear the scream yourself, Mr. Carcerato? Yeah, what gives, pal? How come you didn't hear anything when your neighbor heard it clear as day? Ugh. What do you think, I did the crime or something? From inside of your cell? Guy died over in the workshop, in case you forgot. Well, yeah, it does seem a little weird, now that you mention it. I love how you can see that there's a parrot in the cell on the left. It looks like Polly. He's right, neither of us could have done it. Because let me tell you, if I could get out of this here cage and murder somebody, you'd all be toast. Ah! Ain't that the truth? You bums ain't leaving this place in one piece if any of us can help it. Look at Teddy, he's so cute. I almost forgot these men are hardened criminals. Well, I won't be doing that again anytime soon. I'm guessing this wasn't how you saw this going, Edgeworth. What's my next move here? I won't get much more out of them in this state. Who's there? Order in the court. Who died and made you the boss of me, huh? Can't you see we're kind of busy here? Hush now. Silence is golden. It is. Your hand, if you please. By the power vested in me, I hereby sentence you to blissful silence. Praise be, a simple life awaits you. No money, no possessions. May the goddess of justice watch over you, now and always. Guard, if you would. Looks like you'll be spending the night in solitary, buddy. What? Come on! Please, boss! Any place but there! There's no need to be afraid, my child. If anything, you should rejoice. This is a blessing, a chance to redeem yourself, to be reborn. No! Hey, at least Teddy gets to go with him. Oh, goddess of justice, bless your child and keep him in your care. Oh, Holy One, we give thanks in your name. And you are? Verity Gavel, at your service. It is my honor to bear the title of judge, and to work at the pleasure of the law. I have a lot of things to say about this character, but I can't say them all now. I will say her name in the fan translation is Justine Courtney. Obviously Justine for justice, Courtney because court, because she's a judge. But I like the name Courtney for her. I think she looks kind of like a Courtney, but I don't like the idea of her name being Justine Courtney, because it sounds like she has two first names. Because Courtney doesn't really sound like a last name, even though it probably could be. I do like her name. I do like her official name though, Verity Gavel. I think Gavel kind of suits her. I don't like her hair though. I don't like the way it like kinks out so sharply. I also didn't really like her design when I first saw her because I thought that maybe she was. I thought she maybe had something to do with spirit mediums. She looks like she's related to like Maya and Iris somehow, even though that's not the case. I will say though, I really like her character. She's also got a really cool musical theme, but you guys will see why as we play the game. What is a judge doing in a place like this? Since you ask, Mr. Edgeworth, I have been sent here to find you. I come bearing a message from the Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. It is my sacred duty to deliver it. The Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence? What the heck is that? It is first and foremost a name that should not be taken in vain, my child. For it is a sacred phrase from the goddess of justice herself. Why don't I fill you in, kiddo? Hey Vesper, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. The committee is a panel of 11 people whose job it is to keep our beloved prosecutors honest. In other words, they make sure people like Edgeworth here don't cross the professional line. The panel is comprised of people from both the legal and political professions. A panel of which you are a member, I assume. I am. Allow me to thank you on the committee's behalf for your service. Thanks for coming to see us like this. Speaking for myself, it's a real honor to meet you. It's always great to hang with a judicial compadre. Come on, bring it in and chillax. We're all friends here. Fender, I like you, but you gotta stop trying to hug everyone. It's weird.
Overruled.
Need I remind you, the committee has a long-standing relationship with the Bar Association. Hey, I didn't mean anything by it. I was just trying to lighten the mood, okay? So, your job is to find bad prosecutors and punish them? Precisely, my child. Praise be to the goddess of justice for bestowing her gift of insight onto you. The committee has the power to remove problematic prosecutors from cases. And should a prosecutor truly unworthy of the title be brought to our attention, we are vested with the power to confiscate that prosecutor's badge. And what does the committee for prosecutory whatever you say want with Mr. Edgeworth? We're in the middle of an investigation here.
Objection!
Beautiful. You really don't know, do you? What an ignoramus. Who are you, pal? Winner. Eustace Winner. Prosecutor extraordinaire. Hey, Dreamy Yuma-chan, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, this is Eustace Winner. His name in the fan translation is Sebastian de Best. And actually, when they revealed a lot of the new localization names, his was the name that most people were very unhappy with. Now, I agree. I think Sebastian de Best is a better name for him. He looks more like a Sebastian, and I think de Best sounds better than Winner, even though it kind of gives off the same vibe. I'm okay with his name, though. I'm okay with Eustace Winner, but I do think that he looks more like a Sebastian. I'm not really a fan of this character, but he's actually very popular. And again, as we play through the game, we'll see more of him. Though you might know me as just the Winner, a name they called me down at the prosecutor's office. With great affection, I might add. I've never heard of you. And how about Detective Flatfoot over there? Nope. Name means nothing to me. Huh. Well, that's to be expected of an ignoramus, I suppose. Ignorance is sweet, as they say, so I'm sure most things mean sweet nothings to you. Ignorance is bliss, Winner, and I don't think sweet nothings means what you think it means. It is entirely natural you aren't yet acquainted. Eustace only just joined us last month. So he's nothing but a rookie! I'm not just any rookie, I am a winning rookie. Which he'll prove himself to be in due time. Let's cut to the chase. I'm here to clean up your mess, Edgeworth. What do you mean? What mess? I fear I know exactly what he means. The committee sending an envoy with the new prosecutor in tow. I suspect I know what you're getting at, Winner. But I'm going to need a few more details. Would you mind explaining, Judge Gavel? Very well. By the power vested in me by the Goddess of Justice, I hereby declare that in the matter of the incident at the presidential address and the murder of Mr. Bronco Knight, the committee hereby decrees that Prosecutor Edgeworth be relieved of his duties and replaced by Prosecutor Winner. Here ends the verdict. What? Mr. Edgeworth is off the case, just like that. Judge Gavel, I believe I asked for an explanation. No explanation is required. The guilty verdict is in. The goddess has spoken, and her judgment is final. Objection! What exactly have I done to warrant being taken off the case? Come now, Mr. Edgeworth. Claiming ignorance of your crimes will not serve to lessen your guilt. You boarded the presidential plane, violating the principle of extraterritoriality, and while there, you performed an unsanctioned investigation and subjected a visiting foreign leader to questioning. You were one wrong move away from causing a major international incident. You vastly overstepped the authority of your office. To call it abuse of power would be no understatement. I find this animation of her so silly, because she's a judge, right? So she has a hammer, and judges bang their gavels, right? But she doesn't have anything to bang it against. It's not like she carries a clapper with her, and it's not like she has a desk, or table, or bench. So they made her hammer have like a retractable handle so that she can hit the ground with it. Which, I guess when she does it, it looks a little badass, but if you think about it, if she's holding her hammer like this, right, and hitting the ground, the hammer is not going to hit the ground flush at a 90-degree perpendicular angle, right? Unless there's a hinge on the end of the gavel, but I don't think there is. It just doesn't make any sense. Well, that's okay. Objection! I don't deny I may have pushed the boundaries with where certain rules were concerned, but there is also no denying that certain risks must be taken if one to arrive at the truth. I refuse to concede my actions were inappropriate. Overruled. Then, what you are saying is that the ends justify the means, that the rules can be freely ignored? That is a very dangerous way of thinking. Law is absolute. It is not to be bent to your whims. Forgive me, but not all of us believe as you do. Is that so? How unfortunate. Still, it changes nothing. When a trial ends, the hammer falls. Be you defendant or attorney, even if the verdict seems irrational, nothing more can be done. Nothing, that is, but to give thanks for the goddess of justice's divine grace. Unless you wish to appeal. To do so would be to risk your badge, of course. So they mean to take my badge if I don't play along. Whoa, tough break, Edgeworth. I see you've accepted your fate. Good. Guards, if you be so as kind as to escort him out. No, stop! What are you doing, detective? I'm in charge here. You do as I say. Move out of the way.
What? You're not the boss of me!
Unluckily for you, Flatfoot, that's exactly what I am. You're holding all the cards here. I don't stand a chance. Detective Gumshoe, do as Mr. Winner says.
But sir!
Judge Gavelle. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. The committee's decision is beyond irrational, so yes, I do plan to appeal. You haven't heard the last of this. Duly noted. Until we meet again, then. Let's go, Kay. We're leaving. Right! Oh, and remember, you know who will be getting a full report on all this. To be continued. You'll also notice that Ace Attorney Investigations 1 save files are red. Ace Attorney 2, or Ace Attorney Investigations 2 save files are like orangey. March 28th, 9:45 a.m. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. Ugh! I can't believe what happened yesterday. It was terrible the way those two treated you. Now, let's cut to the chase. I'm here to clean up your mess, Edgeworth. The committee hereby decrees that Prosecutor Edgeworth be relieved of his duties and replaced by Prosecutor Winner. Here ends the verdict. Judge Gavelle and Mr. Winner certainly didn't mince their words. Hey Ryugen, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by, thanks for the stretch. Hope you guys are doing well. Don't forget to sit up straight in your seat and take a little stretch yourselves. That's not what concerns me right now. I'm more worried about the committee's reasons for doing what they did. What they may do next. I suspect it won't be good. Earth to Mr. Edgeworth, are you listening to me? Yes, of course. So this is it? You're giving up the Bronco Knight case? No, I have no intention of doing any such thing. To walk away from the case would be to tacitly accept the committee's decision. The only problem is here, I don't have the authority to continue investigating. Yes, what is it, detective?
I got some bad news, sir. Word down at the precinct is they just arrested somebody for Knight's murder.
What?
Do you know who it is? No, but I heard they're being held in the detention center. Maybe you can go talk to whoever it is.
Good idea. Let's get down there, Mr. Edgeworth. Even without the authority to investigate, surely I can still pay a suspect an innocent visit. Alright, we're on our way.
Me too. I'll see you there, sir.
Well, but won't you be missed, detective?
Nah, everyone's busy in the prison going over the crime scene anyway.
Good. We'll see you shortly.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Kay. Let's go. You got it! March 28th, 10:23 a.m. Detention Center. Visitor's room. Still no sign of them, huh? Indeed. Wait, this is just like the last time. Please don't tempt fate like that. No, I can't. I just can't.
Sure you can. I told you. It's just a pair of visitors.
Sounds like someone really doesn't want to see us. No.
Just talk with them, please.
But one of them's a prosecutor, right? Aren't they all super scary? All they do is stare at you, right into your soul.
Ah, you must be the suspect in the...
So see? I told you.
Okay, why is this man so flustered?
Probably because you're being you.
But I guess that's just how you are. Thanks for clearing up absolutely nothing.
Hey, Mr. Suspect, you doing okay in there? We just want to have a little chat with you. No biggie, right? Who are you? I'm Kay Faraday, Mr. Edgeworth's trusty sidekick. It's just a part-time gig I'm doing while I take a break from my real job, though.
Funny, I don't recall ever employing you.
And that's Mr. Edgeworth. He is a prosecutor, but he's not gonna stare a hole into your soul or anything.
Oh, please.
Really? Really?
Really?
Ugh! Anyway, can you please tell us your name? It's Saint, Simeon Saint. Well, nice to meet you, Simeon. You can call me Kay. Everyone else does.
Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. I'd like to ask you a few questions if I may.
Please, Simeon, we're trying to help you. I promise. Really?
Thanks to Kay, it sounds like we might finally get some answers at least. Perhaps you could start by telling us a little bit about yourself.
Who, me? Why would anyone want to know anything about me? I'm boring, I'm nothing, I'm nobody.
Do you have a job?
Oh, well, it's hardly worth mentioning, really. I'm your average corporate pencil pusher, just like everyone else, honest.
It's gonna take a while. About you and Mr. Knight. Just when I thought we were making progress. Okay.
So, Simeon, did you know Mr. Knight? Come on, you could tell me. Bronco, yeah, I knew him. We were friends.
Interesting. I wonder if he knew that Knight had been arrested.
And, did you know Mr. Knight had been arrested? Yeah, I even came to visit him.
You came to see Knight. I wonder when that would have been.
And when was that, Simeon? It was, the day before yesterday, around lunchtime. I came as soon as I got the call from the cops.
Police called him.
How come the police called you? They said Bronco asked them to, that he needed a favor. A favor? Uh-huh. He wanted me to bring him his chess set, the pocket-sized one. So I went by his place and then I came here.
A chess set.
A chess set?
Is it just me, or is she getting better at stealing my thoughts?
You do know everything you think is written all over your face, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah, I'm not a mind reader, just an expression reader. Amazing, right? Don't you love having a sidekick as helpful as me?
And have you read what my next move is going to be?
I sure have. There's something you want to show Simeon.
Indeed. Let's present it to him and see what he has to say about it.
Come on, hurry up and open that clasp.
This is a murder investigation. You sound like a child on Christmas morning.
Oh please, even your heart must skip a beat when you're about to open a mysterious box.
Not all of us think like you, Kay. Thankfully...
These are chess pieces, right?
I've seen the ones you have in your office. So how come these ones are black and white? Most chess pieces are. The ones in my office are custom made. As in, they're unique? And probably valuable? I like the sound of that. She's got that glint in her eye. She'd better not be planning a robbery. So this chess set. Oh, that's the one I brought for Bronco. Well, that settles that at least. We found him next to Mr. Knight. He always had to have a chessboard somewhere nearby. I'm not surprised he had it with him when he... Simeon, you and Mr. Knight, you were very close, weren't you? Yeah, we were best friends. At least, I thought we were. But I guess I was wrong about that. What do you mean? If I knew him so well, why was it such a shock for me to find out he killed someone? It's not easy discovering someone you're close to has committed a terrible crime. It's a very bitter pill to swallow indeed. How could it all end like this? I could never have imagined something so awful. Something's not right here, Mr. Edgeworth. There's just no way Simeon murdered Mr. Knight. Yes, he certainly doesn't seem to have an obvious motive. Then again, he wouldn't have been arrested for no reason either. I wonder what grounds they had for doing so. Why were you arrested, Mr. Saint? I just don't get it. Why won't he talk to me? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Whoa, he answered you, Mr. Edgeworth. I guess he's not scared of you anymore. Thank goodness for small miracles. The cops burst into my house this morning out of nowhere. And before I knew it, I was here. These policemen. Was there a prosecutor with them? Yeah, some kid named DeWinner or something. The rookie. I thought as much. So, did they interrogate you yet? Well, I'm going to be interrogated by the cops. Well, yeah. I mean, you've been arrested. You're a suspect now. No. Won't the detectives shout at me and threaten me? Oh. There are always these hulking guys, right? Who get in your face and force you to... Detective Dick Gumshoe, reporting for duty! Ah! See? I told you. Please don't hurt me. Please don't crush me with those huge arms. No, please. I'm calling the cops. What's up with this guy, Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, nothing, Detective. You're just being you. I guess that's just how you are. I don't get it, sir. Look, Mr. Edgeworth, Simeon's clearly innocent. So there's gotta be something we could do for him, isn't there? Mr. Saint. Yes? You were Mr. Knight's friend, and 2 days ago you came to visit him. You had nothing at all to do with his murder. Is my understanding correct? Yes! I didn't kill anybody. Very well, then I would choose to believe you, and I'll do all I can to assist you. Huh? But why would you help a nobody like me? Let's just say I may not be doing it solely for your sake. I have something of a personal interest in this case. That's right, it's payback time. We'll show those two whose investigation reigns supreme. Oh yeah, now we're cooking. Unfortunately, I still lack the authority to conduct said investigation. As such, my resources are rather limited, and I'll need to lean heavily on the ones I do have at hand. Which means you, Mr. Simeon, or Mr. Saint, your information will be invaluable going forward. In other words, let's see if we can't help one another out, shall we? Oh, I just thought of something. Why don't you just borrow an attorney's badge? Then you can represent our pal here. Now's not the time for jokes, Gummy. I mean, Mr. Edgeworth is a prosecutor. He couldn't defend anyone if his life depended on it. But I wasn't kidding. I just thought, helping suspects, that's what a defense attorney does, you know? Sure, but we could do that too. The only thing that matters is we find the real culprit at the end. So come on, let's get to work. Yes, ma'am. I'm sure you know already, but just to be clear, if our investigation ultimately proves you to be the culprit, we'll have no choice but to treat you like any other suspect. But you needn't worry. I believe you, or at least, I've decided to try, for now. Just hold tight. Try to believe in us in return. If nothing else, it might help you feel a little less alone. Now, if you'll excuse me. March 28th, 11:22 a.m. Detention Center. Corridor. So we talked a good game in there, but we can't even get back inside the main prison to see the scene of the crime. Maybe defending the guy in court is our best bet after all. Gummy! Can't defend for his life, remember? I didn't play Trials and Tribulations as K. Well, who do we have here? Well, if it isn't Edgeworth and the gang, what are you cats doing here? Listen, pal, if you gotta harass Mr. Edgeworth again, I'll... Hey, easy there, Detective Flatfoot Sholmes. I'm here to work. Work? What, you're here to defend somebody? Whoa, the K-Meister nails it in one. Aren't you just the uber intelligentes of the bunch? Uber intelligentes? That's not how you use either of those words, Fender. Some may say I'm an easygoing old rogue about town, but I'm actually not a half-bad attorney. Which is why I've been summoned to the old jail Rooney for a meeting with a new client. The suspect is one Simony Sainsbury. You mean Simeon Sate? Wow, that's freaky. You know more about my job than I do. Wait, Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Fender's a defense attorney. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I fear I might be. In fact, it could be our only option. Not so long ago, I found myself embroiled in another case that wasn't mine. I managed to worm my way into the crime scene by agreeing to be a certain somebody's subordinate. Not an experience I ever want to repeat, but I fear I may have little choice. Fender, Before you say another word, I just gotta point out the fine print. Eddie Fender doesn't take on associates. Say it ain't so, I hear you protesting, but pompous prosecutors are no-go. Especially those of the Von Karma variety. I should have known he wouldn't forgive me that easily. I understand why you wouldn't want to work with someone like me. What's more, I understand how you feel about all things Von Karma. But please, believe me when I say, I'm not the man I was back then. I'm no longer under my old mentor's spell. You better believe it, pal. Mr. Edgeworth's a changed man. Sure, he used to be the demon prosecutor, but he's not like that anymore. I do have feelings, Detective. Gummy's right. Mr. Edgeworth is one of the good guys now. He's not just a prosecutor, he's a hero. He got me off the hook just last month. You don't say! Well, that escalated quickly. But he was! There's another word for it. He was heroic. Great thiefly, even. Please, Fender. Don't you think there's something odd about the way the committee stepped in yesterday? There's more to this case than meets the eye. I'm certain of it. I can't just walk away from this. I can't. Please, allow me to help you with this investigation. Sheesh! A bow from the great Miles Edgeworth. Never thought I'd see the day, but here we are. So enlighten me, if you will. What made the leopard change his spots? Well, I suppose I would have to say the courtroom itself. Not one specific blue-suited man, I would say. I've experienced so many things, met so many people there within its four walls, including some old friends who showed me a better way to be. How could that not change a person? Huh. Well, I'll be. The old you would never have bared his soul like that. That was beautiful. You might have even surprised you-know-who. You know how much that takes. Tell you what, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start again with a clean slate. So, this is me. Edgeworth & Co. Law Offices. Eddie Fender, Senior Partner.
Edgeworth?
That's right. Mr. Fender here began his legal career as an assistant to my late father, Gregory Edgeworth.
What? Your dad was a defense attorney?
So, the you-know-who Mr. Fender keeps talking about is...
The clever K-Meister nails it and won yet again.
That's right, I was talking about his old man. Guess you all noticed I kept his name over the door, so to speak. Least I could do for old Gregory, really. Listen, Edgeworth. Miles. I'm gonna love what you hear. I don't trust you. Not fully, anyway. I just can't forget about all those years you spent licking Von Karma's boots, you know? Anyone can say they've changed. I'm gonna need you to prove it. And besides, you know, it's what Gregory would have wanted. Very well, I accept. Okay, then that's enough hardball for one day. Let's move on to the fun stuff. I hereby appoint you Interim Associate of Edgeworth & Co. Congrats, man. I will try not to let you down. Well, doesn't this bring a tear to the eye? The prodigal son, coming on board his late father's firm. Permission to come on board too? Please, Mr. Fender. You don't even have to ask, kiddo. Welcome to the crew. Woohoo! Thanks, Captain. Alright, I guess it's time to go to work. So, where to begin? Any bright ideas, Miles? Where were we when we were so rudely interrupted? Well, I guess it's safe to say that probably wasn't the victim. Indeed. It sounds more likely to have been the person who found his body. I believe we need to speak with the person who found the body. Just what I was thinking, eager associate, we do indeed. Still the type to smile and nod, I see. That'll certainly make my life easier, boss. Now that that's decided, let's get going. What about me? I'm a detective. I can't just hop on board as an attorney's assistant like you guys. He does have a point. I can't leave him adrift all on his own now, can I? Detective Gumshoe, I have a special assignment for you. You are to continue investigating the case under Mr. Winner. And if you happen to discover anything that seems useful, you are to notify me immediately. You're in a uniquely powerful position, Detective. I'm gonna need all the info you can pass our way. You can count on me, sir. I'm a real pro when it comes to letting things slip to the defense. Trust me, I know. But just this once, those loose lips of yours might be what saves our ship. Throw wide the prison gates, good sirs, because here we come. I can't get over, like, the miniature pony. It's just standing there. And poor Polly, what did he ever do? March 28th, 11:50 a.m. Prison corridor. So, any idea how we tracked down whoever found the Bronxer's body, Miles? I think our best bet would be to simply ask around. Oh, don't you dare! Who's this? Excuse me, but... Oh my, just look at you. Are you talking to... me? Just fabulous chic, darling, fabulous. Facial hair is so very occurrent, don't you think? Enchanté, mademoiselle, and much obliged. Defense attorney, Eddie Fender, at your service. Let's get things off on the right foot, shall we? A little embrasse, perhaps? Oh, I like the sound of that. I love her scarf. Right on the kisser. Well, how else does one greet a new friend, A little smooch is entirely de rigueur, don't you think? Wow, talk about stealing a kiss.
Indeed, an act so shameless it puts even great thieves to shame. Physical contact is so very important as a form of expression for our little family. Hey, Luciel, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. Hello, hello. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's write you a little shout out. Welcome in. Please join us with following Luciel Prides when you get a chance. Thank you so much for entrusting me with your audience. Hope you had a good time. What were you streaming today? Did you have a good day? I'm Kiro. I'm the frog-themed martial artist. We're playing some Ace Attorney Investigations 2. We're on episode 2, and we are less than a third of the way through, but we're almost a third of the way through. Hope you guys are doing well. Feel free to sit back and relax, or go take care of yourself after your stream. I appreciate you coming by. You're playing Genshin, nice. We had a good time and got lots of progress done. Everyone in this lovely home will tell you as much. Hey, if everyone else is hip to that, I can be hip to that too. Sure. Fifi Lagarde, by the way, warden of this charming abode. You may call me Fifi, of course. So she's the warden of the entire detention center and prison facility, is she? Pleasure to meet you, Miss Lagarde. Miles Edgeworth. I'm an associate with Mr. Fender's practice. I hope you don't mind me asking, but were you here in the prison yesterday? Oh, don't be silly, darling. Of course I was. Yesterday was a very important day, after all. Important what way, exactly? A big meeting of some kind, perhaps? A meeting? Oh, heavens, no. I couldn't think of anything worse. No, yesterday, the circus came to visit. It was a simply spectacular event, featuring some terrifically talented animals. Anyone who's anyone had to be there. If you were here at home, you were watching the show with me. The performers set up a special stage in the yard just for us. We are one very lucky family, n'est-ce pas? So she was at the circus performance for the inmates yesterday morning. That's right, folks. It's the Big Berry Circus. It's Turnabout Big Top. Mr. Carcerado mentioned a show yesterday as well. He must have been talking about the same thing. What time did the show take place? From around 8 until 10, maybe. Yeah, something like that. Meaning it finished right around when the body was discovered. And by the dint of having oh, sorry, that was the wrong person. And by the dint of having attended the show, she has a reasonably solid alibi. Oh, would you look at the time? Sorry, darlings, but I really must dash. Feel free to explore our home. Mikasa, Sukasa, and all that. Ciao for now. Yeah, Edgeworth, when did your voice get so sultry? Well, what now, Mr. Edgeworth? The person who found the body screamed. And that scream was heard by one inmate that we know of. Therefore, our first task is to question this inmate, and see where his information will take us next. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Alright, Her Holy Hammerness isn't here today, so now's our chance to make some real progress. Her Holy Hammerness. Now there's a novel way to refer to Judge Cavell. I like to think we're above name-calling, Kay, but yes, you're right. Well, what are we waiting for? There's investigating to be done. Edgeworth, you're not gonna say anything about Polly? Come on, Edgeworth. Oh, it's a blurb about the guy in the cell. Let's see what it says. Prisoner number D259. Classification, habitat. C cell to the right. Not exactly helpful, is it? This grizzly fellow has a pet polar bear named called Teddy. He's a former boxer who loves to stay trim and is always at optimum fighting weight. He may push his body to the max, but he's relentlessly kind to himself. Omnivore. Who exactly is all this information for anyway? They're being treated like animals.
They even have ponies. This one's only big enough to carry a small child. Isn't it great, Mr. Edgeworth? It's like being at the zoo. Except it's the humans, not the animals who live in captivity here. No one would mind if I took one home with me, would they? If by home you mean behind bars, then no. I suppose not. There's no one in here. They took him to solitary, remember? I wonder when he'll be back. It may be a while. I get the feeling he was in pretty serious trouble. Poor guy, did you see the tears in his eyes? He really didn't want to go. Yes, the way they had to literally drag him away was certainly unusual for a simple timeout. I shudder to think what kind of punishment he's facing right now. Right on the kisser! She seems to have given you quite a shock. And why is that, huh? I thought you were a man of the world. Well, yeah, I'm all for saying hi with a hug, but going straight for the kiss, cool your boots, am I right? Woo me a little before puckering up, that's all I ask. Wow, I never would have pegged you as a shy type. That's not the issue here, I think, Kay. Listen, Miles, I've been meaning to ask. Does that frown of yours turn upside down? An assistant with a permanent scowl on his face is bad for business, you know? I don't see any reason why an associate attorney needs to smile. And that's how I know you've never worked in a private practice. It's all about building trust, man. You gotta create rapport with your clients. A smile here, a wink there. A hug to break the ice, a card to show you're legit. Otherwise they'll never open up. Yes, well, to each their own, Fender. I'll give it to you straight. Running the biz was tough going at first. I mean, Gregory Edgeworth, man. Those are some pretty big shoes to fill. I see. What kind of cases does the firm take on? Might be better asking what we don't. We do murders, parking fines, the whole 9 yards. Our basic principle is this. Everyone deserves a defense. So you never refuse a request? Well, let's just say I have certain preferences in the clients I work with. But didn't you just say that everyone deserves a defense? I'm just messing with you, little sis. Of course we treat all our clients the same. I mean, Gregory's name is still above the door. I gotta live up to his ideals, you know? And that means always doing my best for everyone. Edgeworth and Company. The firm my father built, huh? There's something written here. It seems to be about the prisoner in the cell. Prisoner number D258. Classification: Captivus Periculus. He may look fearsome, but this lively fellow is actually a sweet-natured herbivore. He even has a pet penguin named Gwynny. He's skilled at giving real, gripping testimony. You'll swear you were there at the crime scene, too. The end. It's the kind of thing you might expect to read in a zoo, not a prison. About the person who found the body, do you happen to know where he is right now? Should be in one of the workshops, I guess. Usually is at this hour. But it seems the workshops are our next port of call. It's a mini pig, I believe. Though not for eating, I hope. Isn't this great, Mr. Edgeworth? It's like being at a zoo. Except it's the humans, not the animals, who live in captivity here. No one would mind if I took one home with me, would they? This is the exact same dialogue we just read earlier. Look, Mr. Edgeworth, it's a monkey mountain. Not something I ever expected to see in a prison, I must say. Does it look like fun? Not in the least. While we're on the subject, you are not under any circumstances to climb on that structure. Do I make myself clear? I have to show the monkey who's boss. Please, Kay, you really don't. Thanks for the stretch, Kieran. Thank you. I wonder where this door leads. I don't know about you, but I'm getting some real strong vibes coming from there. Maybe that's where they keep the super duper dangerous prisoners. That's certainly a real possibility, in which case we'd better turn back while we still can. Wait, I was only kidding, you know. Why is there a rabbit? I nearly tripped over it. Isn't this great, Mr. Edgeworth? It's like being at a zoo. This is the same dialogue. This looks like the way to the prison yard. Sadly, the shutter is locked tight. Freedom awaits on just the other side. A stoic lock, a key twixt mine eyes and nose in the outdoor breeze. Such a cruel fate it is indeed. The more I think on it, the more it eats at me. And whose thoughts are you attempting to channel exactly with that soliloquy? You have a moment. We have a few questions for you. Oh, who's a good girl? You are! You're just perfect! She really is. She's beautiful. Ahem. Meow. He's finally noticed me, I think. I was wondering, what's her name? It's Waggy, man. She's my little friend. Yes, right. As you were then. What I need are answers, not clawful puns. It's a basin for drinking from. Looks a little hard to reach. They need to come up with a more user-friendly design. Or perhaps it's for the animals. Did you ever think of that, Kay? Hello? Anyone in there? Nice try, kiddo, but this isn't a bathroom stall. Yo, you there. Could you help us out here, my good man? Yes, sir. What can I do for you? It's somebody using the workshop right now. Yes, sir. One of the prisoners is in there. Just confirmed it myself during the new time roll call. We'd like to speak to this prisoner, if that's alright. Sure, I'll go fetch him right now. Won't take a sec. This was all yours, Milesy boy. What? Why? Let's just say I'd rather not roll the dice with someone I don't know, yeah? Huh, I thought adults were all supposed to be strong and brave. Huh, well, you're not looking so brave yourself right now. So let's call it even. Here they come. Hello, hello, hello. I hear you wish to speak with me? Not exactly the hardened criminal we were expecting, is he? My name is Miles Edgeworth. I'm a public prosecutor. A prosecutor, you say? A defender, attorney at law. What happened to being too scared to handle this? Listen, sorry about my pal here. He gets the weirdest ideas, huh? Prosecutor indeed, that'll be the day. He's actually just an associate. Geez, Miles, get a grip, will ya? Ugh, he's right. Mustn't forget I'm a defense attorney's assistant for the time being. Ah, that explains it. I didn't think you looked a little different from the prosecutor I spoke with yesterday. Sorry, he's already spoken to Winner. Would you mind answering a few questions? No, of course not. I'd be delighted. The name's Sot. Frank Sot. Witness is all yours, my young associate. Sure. Have the intern do everything. Why not? Mr. Sot, you're no doubt aware a murder took place yesterday. Would you mind telling us where you were at the time the body was found? Yes, I was in the workshop there, working as one might expect. So you might be wondering, I mean, obviously if you've played Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, you know this is the guy for the very first case, the first Turnabout. You might be wondering, why'd they bring this guy back? The answer is because Ace Attorney Investigations 2 was originally released 10 years after the first Ace Attorney game first came out in Japan. So they brought him back for the 10-year anniversary to kind of celebrate the Ace Attorney series and how far it's come. Now the interesting thing is, the fact that he's here and alive gives us some very interesting implications. Because usually when we find someone out to be the culprit, we usually never see them again in an Ace Attorney game, with a few exceptions. So the assumption's usually just made that they get executed, right? Because execution at the time was allowed in Japan, right? So there's actually a couple times where in the English localization, they keep it a little bit vague, but in the Japanese version, it's a little bit more, they imply that they've been executed. Although usually they don't talk about previous culprits because they don't want it to be like a spoiler for a previous case. So they usually just don't talk about culprits. But the fact that this guy actually shows up means that not everyone gets executed. And this is kind of our first concrete example of that actually being the case. Yeah, it's a little bit different in the English versions because they kind of skirt around the subject, but in the Japanese version, they do make it a little bit more explicit. Because again, at the time, execution was legal in Japan. I actually don't know what it is now, but... What kind of work were you doing? Well, I'm actually retraining at the moment. I'm hoping to become a stylist, you see. A pet stylist, that is, so I've been studying hard and practicing every moment I can. An unusual field of study befitting an unusual prison, I suppose. Ah, that's it. I certainly didn't see anything. Interesting. I barely asked him anything at all, and he's already sweating bullets. Yes, I'm afraid I won't be able to help you. Sorry.
Hold it!
No, I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Sot. For this interview has only just begun. Well, I mean, if you were to ask me, You know something, don't you? That's... He's definitely hiding something. I'll need to push him a little harder if I'm to get any answers. Domain expansion. The first step is to analyze the situation. Let's take a look at our opponent. I didn't see anything. I really can't help you, I'm afraid. Something tells me he'd be a good poker player. It's hard to tell much at all from his face. I don't think he'll be giving me much in the way of physical cues either. I have to rely solely on his words instead. That's the only way I'll know what's going on underneath. Alright, time to make my first move. Let's see who we're dealing with here. He may be good at holding his emotions, but everyone has a tell. Mind chess. Tell me, what's your connection to this incident? Which incident? The murder? Oh, well, it has nothing to do at all with me. Nothing. Really? I wouldn't dream of getting involved in anything as ghastly as that. Well, you see, how can I put this? Well, I like to think of myself as an upstanding citizen, a good person, if you will. Forgive me, Mr. Sot, but under normal circumstances, good people do not tend to end up in prison. So you do well to tell me what you know about the incident. How many times I tell you people? I mean, I don't know anything, I swear. Sorry, I don't know what more to say. I can't help you. My apologies, Mr. Sot. Considering that the incident occurred right here in the prison, I find it very hard to believe that you know nothing at all. Oh, well, yes, I suppose I can see how it might seem unlikely, but it's true. If you're looking for the person who found the body, you'll have to look elsewhere. Why do you think I'm looking for the person who found the body? I certainly never mentioned any such thing to you. Is it because you do know something you're not telling me after all? No, I just sense that's who you might be looking for, that's all. I'm simply a pet stylist in training. I don't know anything, truly. There's no doubt about it now. This man is hiding something big. In which case, let's find out what he did yesterday, the date of the incident. My opponent is very good at hiding his true feelings, but not for long. It's time to smash that mask of his and see what lurks behind that phony smile. Tell me about the date of the incident. If you really don't have anything to do with the murder, then you have nothing to hide, right? Well, the day of the incident? Oh gosh, I mean, so much happened. I want to know what you were doing, Mr. Sot. In detail. I told you, I'm a pet stylist in training. And that's what I was doing yesterday, trading. Specifically, I was giving the animals a trim. You didn't notice any commotion at the time of the incident. I'd imagine things were suddenly quite tumultuous around here. Well, commotion, you say? No, not really. Maybe I heard someone, but,
You heard someone. Was this someone screaming by any chance? And don't try to tell me you don't remember. You continue to assert you know nothing about the incident, Mr. Sawit, but I'm afraid I don't believe a word of it. Yeah. No, I thought I heard someone yelling, but nah, I don't really remember. The fact that he heard a scream at the time of the murder may very well prove to be a useful clue. I would do well to bear it in mind. Tell me about the day of the incident. If you really don't have anything to do with the murder, then you have nothing to hide, right? Well, the day of the incident, gosh, I mean, so much happened. What was it like here in the prison yesterday morning? I really don't remember. I don't have the best memory, I'm afraid. Time to deploy my clue. But to remember, please. You literally just confirmed you heard a scream. Yeah! Oh, but I must have been mistaken. The truth is, I really don't remember. Your memory fails you yet again. How convenient, but I know you're lying, Mr. Sawit. How dare you talk to me like that? I mean, I'm not lying. Look, if you must know, when I'm working with the animals, I get into the zone. They're all I see. Am I to understand you have something of a talent for animal grooming, then? Well, my scissor technique could use a little work, but I'd say I'm quite good with the animals. They seem to like me. I'm especially good at calming them down when they get scared. Scared? When exactly do they get scared? Surely it doesn't happen very often. Well, no, thankfully it doesn't. A loud scream would certainly frighten the animals, wouldn't it? Why are you going to such lengths to deny having heard the scream? What is it you're hiding, Mr. Sawit? Tell me. Yeah. I can assure you I'm not hiding anything. I'll admit I did really hear somebody scream, but I'm not hiding anything, I promise. The mask is finally beginning to crack. Now to shatter it completely by asking about the scream itself in more detail. I'm afraid you're about to learn a painful lesson, Mr. Sawit. That hiding things from me never ends well for my opponent. Hey Luke, welcome to the stream, thanks for stopping by. When did you hear the scream? Oh, wait, now I remember. I forgot about the show! They put on a show for us prisoners around the time of the incident, you see. Yes, performing animals, if I remember rightly. That's where I was in the morning. So now you wish to claim that you didn't hear scream because you're at the show. You do realize that goes completely against everything you told me so far. What are you gonna do about it, huh? That is, my memory is patchy, as they say. The animal show really had to be seen to be believed. It did it? Tell me, what kind of animals did you see? Let me think. A whale? Enough of your lies. You were nowhere near the show, were you? Ugh. Well, I seem to remember being there, but maybe I was, and maybe I wasn't. It's clear Mr. Sawit wasn't at the show. This seems like a vital clue. Who did you hear screaming? Wait, I just realized I made a mistake. When the incident happened, I was out in the yard, yes. So, I didn't hear anyone screaming, no one at all. Time to deploy my clue. How long are you planning to keep up these lies? I already know that you weren't at the show. Ugh. The game's up, Mr. Sawit. It's high time you told me the truth. I demand to know the scream now. I can't tell you what I don't know. I didn't hear any scream, not from the person who found the body.
How curious. Most people would assume the scream had come from the victim. So then, why do you think it came from the person who found the body, Ugh! I made a mistake, that's all. How, Mr. Sod? How did you know it was the person who found the body who screamed? Shall I tell you? You knew because it was you who found the body. And the scream that was heard when the incident occurred didn't come from the victim. It came from you. Ah! How did you? Ugh. It's true, I admit it, but what gives you the right to treat people like this? Checkmate. So now that we've established you were the one who found the body, Mr. Sawit, I believe you've lost any standing you may have to withhold your cooperation. Alright, you win. But I'm sure I won't have anything useful to tell you. It probably isn't even worth your time. That's not for you to decide. By my hand, the truth will be revealed. Every decision I make is to ensure that end. Except that's not exactly what we're here to do, is it? What do you mean? We're not trying to expose the truth. We're trying to save Simeon. That's what we do now, remember? We work to get our client out of trouble. Not as a prosecutor, but as a defense attorney's assistant. What the game Meister said. You need to listen to the kid more, you know? The client has requested the service of Edgeworth and Company. As your old man always said, your relationship with your client comes before everything else. So you think Mr. Saint's well-being is taking a back seat to some quest for the truth? Well, let's just say I don't like to fire people, so I need you to fight against your instincts a little harder. This will take some getting used to. In any case, the importance of this man's testimony remains unchanged. Therefore, Mr. Sawit, I'm asking you once more. What happened when you found the body? Finding the corpse. I was in the workshop there by myself, practicing what I'd learned. I don't remember how, but I found myself in front of the door to the other workshop. I happened to peek in through the little window. And then I saw him lying there, a man, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself screaming in sheer terror. Let me get this straight. The room you were in is next to the one where the corpse was found. Yes, that's right, I was in workshop B. And you were there the whole day? Yes, from 7 AM roll call onwards. There are these three roll calls a day, you see. 7 AM, noon, 9 PM. And check who's in the workshop during roll call, correct? That's right! Nothing was reported to be amiss at 7 AM, which means the knight's body wasn't in the workshop yet at that point in time. Guess that means the murder took place after 7 AM, which puts it right around the time the show was happening. Ah yes, the show. I remember the other prisoners going to see it. And therefore, anybody who wasn't at the show has no alibi. Would that be a fair assessment, Mr. Sawit? I guess so, but I only found the body, I swear. There's a clear contradiction in Mr. Sawit's testimony. Ruling it out should be my first priority. I was in the workshop there by myself, practicing what I learned.
Hold it!
What exactly were you practicing? How to be a pet stylist, of course. I'm a model prisoner after all. So he keeps saying. I don't remember how, but I found myself in front of the door to the other workshop.
Hold it!
You found yourself there, really? That's right, and then I found myself peeking through the little window in the door. Why did you think to do that? Gosh, I don't know, I just found myself doing it, really. You clearly weren't concentrating on your work then. No, that's not true, I'm a model prisoner. It's just, all the other prisoners had gone to watch the show. I guess I was, well, kind of lonely. Like being stuck at school after everyone else has gone home, huh? Yes, exactly like that. Anyway, I found myself in front of the door to the other workshop, and I happened to peek in through the little window.
Hold it!
Does that mean you didn't get a good look inside? No, I couldn't. The window was not only small, but it had bars over it, you see. Not exactly a panoramic view. They're just so the guards can check what's going on, right? That's right, yes. You're a very knowledgeable young lady. You bet. I guess you could say I know a little something about prisoners now, too. I'll have to remind myself to address this newfound interest later. Anyway, yes, I peeked in through the little window in the workshop door. And then I saw him lying there, a man, not moving, dead.
Hold it!
Could you tell right away if it was a man or a woman? It was clearly a man. His physique, his clothes. It was also very clear that he was dead. You could tell just by peeking through the little window. Look, let's just say this wasn't my first dead body. Yeah, man, we know it's not your first dead body. What? You mean you're in prison for... to my eternal shame, yes. This was, however, the first time I'd seen another person's handiwork up close, so... I quailed in fright and found myself screaming in sheer terror.
Hold it!
Do you recall exactly how you screamed? Any words you might have used? No, I only remember I screamed. Folks don't tend to remember much when they're busy crying in terror, Miles. Exactly! So, yes, I screamed. That's all I remember. He presents himself as an innocent bystander, but nothing could be further from the truth. Given what he is, things couldn't have happened as he claims. The contradiction in his testimony is as clear as day. I just need to present the evidence that proves it.
Objection!
Enough of these pathetic lies, Mr. Sawit. I'm afraid you've rather lost sight of what you are. What I am? I know precisely what I am. I'm a former newspaper salesman who's trained to be a pet stylist.
Hold it!
That's not all you are, is it? Or did you forget the bracelet you're wearing around your wrist? A bracelet that marks you as a prisoner, therefore unable to move around as you please. As we both know, stepping outside the door would have sounded an alarm. Well, that's, There's no way you could have looked into the other workshop without leaving the room you were in. Ugh! Ooh, stylishly done, Edgeroo. But doesn't this mean Mr. Sawit couldn't have found the body then? Good question, Kay. Perhaps Mr. Sawit himself can explain. So actually, I may have forgotten to mention one very important detail. Sorry about that. I can explain exactly how I was able to see the body if you'd like. By all means, go ahead. Finding the Corpse, Part 2. There's a little trick we prisoners know about, you see. As long as you leave your bracelet inside the door, you can lean without triggering the alarm. That's how I was able to peek through the window and into the workshop next door. Inside, I spotted the victim's dead body, which made me scream in fright. So he's saying he was able to take a look next door because he kept his arm inside workshop B as he leaned out. Please don't tell anyone our little trick, especially not the guards, please. Is this it? Is this all he was hiding? I better dig a little deeper into his testimony just in case.
Hold it!
And tell me some more about this trick, Mr. Sawit. Of course, it's quite simple, really. Wow, that was like the shortest press I've ever seen.
Hold it!
I suppose this allows you to enjoy a little taste of freedom. It does! To be honest, it's one of the few things that brings me joy anymore. A rather surprising source of joy, but rule breaking isn't exactly a demonstration of remorsefulness, is it? No, but I am remorseful. I always am. I'm a model prisoner after all. I'm beginning to suspect he doesn't know what a model prisoner actually is. So he used this trick to peek through the window. That's right, yes. I made sure the guard wasn't looking and leaned out into the corridor. Yeah, you can see the doors in the background. His arm must have been, like, super long. That's how I was able to peek through the window and into the workshop next door.
Hold it!
Why'd you make so much of an effort just to take a look? Well, you see, I heard noises coming from next door. And that room was supposed to be empty, so I thought it was strange. And you went to look as soon as you heard these noises. Yes, of course. I had to see what was going on, so I went right away. I see. Are there any problems with what Mr. Saw just said? You claim you looked into the next room as soon as you heard some noise. If that's the case, you must have seen more than just a dead body. Because the person who made the noises should have been in there too. You got him quaking in his boots, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Saw, tell us the truth about what you saw. You do, of course, have the right to remain silent. It will do little to dispel the notion that you were somehow involved in the crime. I'm sorry? I did see something else, but it's too insane to believe. I really thought I might have dreamt it. That's why I wasn't sure if I should mention it. Just tell us what you saw. Alright. It was... that dog. What I saw is the stuff of nightmares. A huge black dog. Has sunk his terrible teeth into the victim's throat. What did you say? It was hellish. Utterly hellish. That beast, that awful beast, he killed him. Suddenly I don't feel so good. Jeepers creepers, that's awful. Talk about traumatizing. It was dreadful, horrible. Now you know why I couldn't help but scream. So there's a man-eating dog in the prison's animal population, is there? And that really is everything, I promise. You believe me, don't you? For now, this one seems too far-fetched to lie, even for you. I'd like you to append what you just told us to your testimony, if you don't mind. Very well. Inside, I spotted the victim's dead body, which made me scream in fright.
Hold it!
How much do you remember about the man you saw? Oh, I remember everything. Let's see. He had blonde hair, and his neck was covered in blood because he was... dead, yes. We know that, Mr. Saw. Thank you very much. I'm just telling you what I saw. I thought you attorneys were obsessed with the little details. There's some serious venom behind those words. Something tells me he may not have had the best experience with defense attorneys in the past. Yeah, you think? I also saw that black dog, his mouth clamped tight around the man's throat.
Hold it!
You sure this black dog was biting the victim's throat? Yes, there was blood everywhere. The beast's mouth was dripping with it, and... Whoa, spare us the gory details, will you? What about the victim? Was he... Ah! Don't say it! Did you really need to ask him that, Mr. Edgeworth? Okay, what was I punched for? I'm on your side here. He wasn't moving at all. He was just lying there. Meaning he was already dead. There was so much blood just oozing from his neck. Though he was dead as a doornail, I'm sure of that. Not even the twitch of a finger, just lifeless. Enough already. Why do you have to go into every little detail like that? To give you a nice and accurate testimony. That is what you want, isn't it? Shall I add what I said to my testimony, Mr. Edgeworth? Please do. He was awful, I tell you. Terrible. No, he was dead as a doornail, I'm sure of that. Not even the twitch of a finger, just lifeless.
Hold it!
paints a very vivid picture. Well, I had a front row seat, I suppose. I could almost feel the agony of the poor man's final moments. I don't think I'll be getting any sleep tonight, Mr. Edgeworth. You won't? Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's all your fault for pressing him for more gory details. I'll be having nightmares tonight myself. It's also sort of very fresh in my memory. I remember seeing his ring gleaming as it caught the light. It features a snowflake motif in relief.
Hold it!
A snowflake motif in relief. You seem to have a very clear memory of the ring, Mr. Sot. Well, I used to go door to door selling newspaper subscriptions, you see. I just take people in at a glance, their appearance, their mood, that sort of thing. Figuring out who exactly you're dealing with is the first step in any sale. Except in this case, you were figuring out a corpse. What can I say? Force of habit. Oh, one that served me very well in my sales career, if I do say so myself. Even so, you seem to remember things to an uncanny level of detail. I suppose. Nevertheless, it's true. I remember the ring, the relief, all of it. Is what he's saying even plausible, though? Perhaps I should take another look at the condition of the victim's body as we found it. I know what I saw, Mr. Edgeworth, and my eyes don't lie. So Mr. Knight was bitten in the throat by a dog and it lives here in the prison. Not the most plausible of explanations, I have to say. Well, they do say the pets take after their owners. But there are some things they shouldn't take after, not if they're supposed to help reform their owners. Otherwise, what's the point of having an animal therapy program? I should probably ask Mr. Sod a little bit more about this dog. Dang, he's got 7 statements.
Objection!
A ring with a snowflake relief. Yes, I saw it, clear as day. It was carved in such fine detail. Interesting. Your testimony is certainly very accurate. In fact, I'd say it's a little too accurate. And what's wrong with being too accurate? I mean this. You testified to having seen a ring with a snowflake design on it. While the victim did indeed have a ring on his finger. See? Exactly as I said. There's no way you could have seen it. Take a look at this photograph. As you can see, the victim's right hand was covered by a tarp. It would have been impossible for you to see his ring, let alone what the design on it was. Unless, that is, you approached the body and removed the sheet. You told us earlier you only took a look through the window and the door. Yet you seem to have seen quite a lot from such a disadvantaged location, Mr. Sot. Who the heck do you think you are, huh? Mr. Big Shot acting like you know it all? I mean, I saw what I saw, I swear. Oh, I know, the man's arm! It must have moved under the tarp after I peeked in.
Objection!
Nonsense. You already told us that can't have been the case. He wasn't moving at all, he was just lying there. Meaning he was already dead. You said it yourself, the victim was already dead. And dead men don't move, do they? Ugh! Ooh-wee, is that the stench of ode to desperation I smell? What are you hiding, Mr. Sot? Tell us. Ugh. No, You're wrong. I know what I saw. Ugh. Yeah. You couldn't let it go, could you? Had to keep on poking your product. You slimy, stupid associate attorney! Seems the real Mr. Sod has finally revealed himself. Whoa, that's quite the rug he was rocking. He came straight at you like some kind of flying black cat. Look, I'm just a sweet innocent witness here. But are you really? Because I must say, I have doubts. Very serious doubts. Now Edgeworth knows what it feels like to be Phoenix. What's that supposed to mean? You saw something that should have been impossible to be seen from outside the workshop. So how did you do it? That's simple. Mr. Sot, this is where you were standing when you saw the body.
Take that!
You were in the same room as the body. That's the only way you could have seen the relief on the ring. Say what you want, but you don't have a shred of evidence, do you? Nothing to prove I was in the room with the body anyway. You can't prove it, can you? Because I was in the next room over. Minding my own business, looking after the animals. Why else would I sign out a pair of rubber gloves, for fun? Now put up or shut up. I want to see some evidence that proves I was in the room with that body.
Take that!
Remind me, Mr. Sawit. What were you doing when you discovered the body? How many times I was practicing my pet styling techniques. Of course, then perhaps this rubber glove might mean something to you. Yeah, that's... This glove was found by the victim's body. I believe it was dropped by the killer. And I can't help but notice that you have a similar glove tucked into your apron. No, this one's different.
Hold it!
Yes, that one does seem awfully lonely, doesn't it? It's just a rubber glove. There are hundreds of them all over the prison. That doesn't prove anything.
Objection!
Not yet, perhaps, but if I were to ask the police to check this glove for prints, I have a feeling the results would be rather fascinating. It's over.
Objection!
What the? That was pretty rad objection, am I right? Please, Fender, now is not the time for tomfoolery. I have a legit objection. Because this isn't over. There's something that still doesn't make sense. Our man here's a prisoner, right? He's got one of those bracelet doohickeys on. That's true, so how could he have left his workshop in the first place? His bracelet would have triggered the alarm if he tried. Right. We don't have a good explanation for that yet. Well, anything you'd like to share, good buddy? We're all good friends here. That's weird. He should be climbing onto that bracelet like the big round lifesaver it is. In what way? As in, it's the best hope our weakling friend here has for getting off the hook for murder. Sorry, can't get into the crime scene with a bracelet on. If it were me, I'd be arguing that for my life. And yet, he hasn't said a peep about it. I wonder why that might be, The sound of silence. I suppose Miss Law Priestess did preach that silence is golden yesterday, too. Whoa, you sound like an actual attorney for a second there, Mr. Fender. The worst of times are when lawyers calmly show our biggest smiles. Gregory taught me that. It was part of the attorney's code he lived by. So, friend, what's the dealio? Why so coy about your bracelet? Well, to tell you the truth, it's broken. Broken. I fell over a little while back, you see, and hit it on the floor. After that, it didn't seem to set the sensors off anymore. I should have told the guards about it, I know, but, well, it was awfully convenient. I see. So your bracelet is broken. Do they really break that easily? If so, this prison has a serious security problem. You there, can we have a moment? Aw, aren't you just the cutest? Ahem! Meow! How can I help you, sir? This prisoner's bracelet appears to be broken. What? Really? That's not good. I'll get someone to find a replacement right away. Thank you. We'll keep hold of the broken one for the time being. Of course, sir. I trust you'll take good care of it. I mean, he shouldn't have let us keep it, but you know, whatever. Sweet. Bracelet sorted. Now, to turn our murder in, yeah? What? No, I didn't kill anyone. Whoa there, Palio. You were the one who said your bracelet was out of commission. Or were there other inmates freely roaming the halls while everyone was busy watching the show? No, I just found the body. That's all, I promise. And when I did, that enormous dog still had his mouth wrapped around the poor man's neck. I only went into the workshop after the beasts had left. Why did you go in? Well, well, fine. I wanted to go through his pockets, okay? He was going to rob the corpse. That explains why he remembers the knight's ring, why he remembers Knight's ring in so much detail. Hey, why are you looking at me like that? I'm a great thief. I'd never stoop so low as to steal from a... Well, I didn't steal anything either. The show ended just after I entered the room, and the other inmates came trickling downstairs thereafter. I panicked. I rushed back to the other workshop and started my fake screaming. Drop the glove in your haste, huh? I guess this all just about hangs together. Anything smell funky to you, Miles? Other than whether Mr. Sod is the one who did it, I'd say one very significant question still remains. Question of how Knight made it into the prison proper from his holding cell in the detention center. Well, yeah, that one's a doozy. I also can't help but wonder about another key feature of Mr. Sod's testimony. That dog's involvement can only mean one thing. Mr. Sod. Yes, what is it? Were you the only prisoner who didn't go watch the show? Well, no, there was one other who didn't. Am I right in thinking that this prisoner couldn't have watched the show, even if he wanted to? Yes, how did you? I knew it. I had my suspicions when we first ran into that black dog yesterday, but this confirms it. For a criminal that dangerous to end up in a place like this is unbelievable, but... Where is this person's cell? You're going to see... him? Who are we talking about here? Him! He's not like the other prisoners, you know? He's special, he gets treated like royalty. But you didn't hear that from me. All I'll say is, if you value your life, you'll stay well away from him. What? Will you please stop trying to scare us all the time? The big G's, huh? Well, I, for one, definitely value my life, so that sucks. They keep him in maximum security. Which is over there. Maximum security. Well, that's certainly one way of treating someone differently. Alright, quit being so mysterious and tell us who he is already. Let's just say he's highly skilled when it comes to people's lives. Better than anyone, in fact. And, that's all I'm prepared to say on the subject. In fact, I may have already said too much. Well, Milesy, anything you care to share? Or are you gonna leave K&I in the dark here, too? The mystery man in maximum security is an old acquaintance. Let's go pay him a visit. I suspect we'll find our dark canine friend there, too. Ugh, I can't believe you found out about my bracelet. I was expecting you to show a little more remorse. Oh, well, of course. I'm very remorseful, yes. Anyway, shouldn't you be on your way to maximum security? A word of warning, but I suggest you be on your best behavior from now on. Of course, I won't be stepping out of line again. As if I need another reminder from the likes of you. You might also consider using your best words too, Mr. Sot. I can see the crime scene through the window in this door. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just shove your whole face in front of a window like that. You have to do it more sneaky-like. Steal a few good looks while keeping a lookout for your enemies. I'm not a criminal, Kay. Why should I have to behave like one? Yeesh, I was just trying to teach you my special sneak peek technique. Well, I have no need for such techniques, thank you very much. This is a door to one of the workshops. Why do they have workshops in a prison anyway? They're for people to train in for when they return to life outside in the real world. But a dead body was found in one of them, right? So then it's not really doing a good job of helping anyone return to life, is it? I suppose that's another reason why we should aim to clear up this mystery as soon as possible. It's a cat. What a possum kitty! Please, Kay, I'd appreciate it if you could stick to using normal words. If I had a little buddy like her, life in prison wouldn't be so bad. No, what am I thinking? I can't get locked up for real. Perhaps I'd better give her a moment to get this cat speak out of her system. March 28th, 12:41 p.m. Prison. Maximum security. Wow, it's pitch black in there. I can't see a thing. But didn't you say the Yatagarasu takes flight even in the dead of night, or something like that? Even in the depths of night, when no other bird dares to take flight. One alone soars to shine the light of righteousness on the world's blight. And that one is me, for I am the great thief Yatagarasu. Whoa, you're one powerful performer. Thanks, but that doesn't help me see in the dark. I'm a human, not a three-legged raven. Ugh! What? Ah, Mr. Edgeworth. That voice. I knew it. It has been far too long. You remember me? I could hardly forget now, couldn't I? After all, you are the one who put me away. Mr. Edgeworth? Are you talking to the dog? Or is there someone else in there? Still can't see a dang thing. Oh, but I am forgetting myself. Forgive me. I do not often receive visitors. One moment. I will turn on the lights. You are a heavy-footed lot. Am I right in thinking there are 3 of you in all? Very well. Perhaps we should start by introducing ourselves. I am Bodhidharma Canis. As you may have gathered, Mr. Edgeworth and I are old acquaintances. Canis was a notorious assassin. Some knew him as the Blind Butcher. His only weapons were a vicious hunting hound and a fearsomely sharp knife. His appearance was always announced by the sound of bells. The last sound his victims would ever hear. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, am I to guess why you have come to see me? Yep, so I thought so too. When I first played this game, I thought they were going to reveal a character that we had already seen before, but this is a new character. Even though he's alluding to the fact that he knows Edgeworth, he is new to this game, so don't worry about having lost out on any context here. Hey Lexi, welcome to the stream. You know why I'm here. In fact, I'm willing to bet you know every detail of this sordid little affair already. Then I suppose we have nothing to hide from one another. I also like how his number is B055, so it looks like it says boss. Your faithful canine friend is currently the chief suspect in a murder investigation. The person who found the body saw a dog with its mouth around the victim's throat. Your witness is mistaken. Helmet is a gentle soul. He is my eyes. Nothing more. It is absurd to think he would do such a thing. Isn't it, boy? Yes, it is. You're a good boy, aren't you? Helmut is more than a mere eye-seeing dog. He's certainly no good boy. He's also a trained killer.
A weapon once used in the man-sorted trade. And this witness of yours, he is trustworthy, I assume? Ugh, Sod is anything but trustworthy. He's still very much a suspect himself. I can hardly claim his testimony is beyond reproach. And no, then. I thought as much. Yes, I did, Helmet. Yes. Figures he already knew who are witnesses. What were you doing between 8 and 10 a.m. yesterday morning, Mr. Canis? During the show, you mean? I was here, ensconced in these humble surroundings. I developed a passion for wood carving, you see. An obsession, even. I was engrossed in it all morning. And you have permission to engage in such a hobby. I can't believe someone would actually let you. The warden and I have an understanding. An understanding? That's ridiculous! This man shouldn't be allowed 1, let alone 5 chisels. There are nothing but lethal weapons in his hands. I was carving Buddhist pieces at first, but by the 674th, my interest had begun to wane. Whoa, that must have taken forever! Time is all I have, child. In any case, my focus has now shifted to pieces, such as these. I didn't know you played chess. You play too, do you not, Prosecutor? Perhaps one day you might indulge me. Though you may find my game rather rudimentary, I only began after my arrival here, I'm afraid. What's that piece? A dog with 3 heads. Ah yes, the dogs of war. You must forgive my little joke. Chess is, after all, a game of war. Soldiers, knights, castles, all doing their utmost to protect the king. All loyal to the last. I've always thought it strange such a game has no place for a dog. And after all, what more loyal weapon could an army call upon? Still, it's simply a piece I made for fun. Fear not, I play by the regular rules, and with the regular pieces. I can't imagine it's easy finding opponents to play here in prison, though. Oh, I have my correspondence. Correspondence chess, then. Sharing moves by post. Yes, even prisoners are allowed to send and receive letters. Their contents are inspected, of course. Although, I have yet to receive the details of my current opponent's next move. Sounds like this current opponent isn't a resident here. I suppose you know the identity of the deceased, Mr. Canis. His name was Bronco Knight, was it not? Poor unfortunate soul. You keep your ear to the ground. My ears are all I have, Mr. Edgeworth. Why am I not surprised he's plugged into the prison's information network? But perhaps he was not so unfortunate after all. What do you mean? Mr. Knight's crime was a grave one. A crime for which he would have been made to pay very dearly anyway. The attempted assassination of a president. That is no small matter. Attempted assassination? Wait, Mr. Edgeworth, didn't Mr. Knight... Yes, we proved he murdered his team leader. There was no attempt on the president's life. Could it be? Are they attempting to cover up President Wang's fake assassination scheme? Whoa there, cowboy, you're saying the Bronxster didn't actually have a pop at the Prez? That was hard to defend him on the charge of attempted murder. You mean, you don't know what really happened? So what, they just blamed the whole assassination thing on Mr. Knight? It would explain why the committee was so keen to get involved. Of course! They took you off the case to try to keep you away. And swapped in that wiener kid to push him through an attempted murder charge. In other words, they're trying to cover up the truth.
So they were really trying to frame him. According to the guards, this night, was it? They tell me he was violently insistent he had attempted no assassination. Which would have come out anyway when the case went to trial. I'm no expert in legal matters, but allow me to say this one thing. I know for a certainty that he would not have been the first inmate imprisoned on false pretenses. Ugh. An uncomfortable fact, but a fact nonetheless. Yes, Helmet, yes it is, yes. The courtroom is not always the bastion of truth you believe it to be, Mr. Edgeworth. No bastion of truth, huh? I've heard something to that effect before. Yes, from a certain Interpol agent who doesn't have much faith in prosecutors. Hey Fate, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for calling Kirby today. You're not twisting the truth behind those closed courtroom doors, too, are you? Fueled by that kind of thinking, is it any wonder courts produce nothing but falsities and lies? Sorry, but the truth doesn't need the likes of you to distort it today. I never was able to fully dispel his mistrust of prosecutors. Even Helmet understands. Don't you, Helmet? Yes, you do. The truths revealed in court and your deductions. It is dangerous to trust either implicitly. Ugh! But I am not bitter. You are not the first to make me a subject of unfounded suspicions in recent days. In fact, I was visited by another prosecutor only yesterday. He was accompanied by a judge. They even dragged the warden along, her distaste for me lingering unspoken in the air. Not those two again! Prosecutor Winner and Judge Gavel. They went over my cell with a fine-tooth comb, but they left empty-handed. They were looking for the murder weapon, I believe, to no avail. But I mustn't take it personally. Rumor has it they searched every cell in the prison, and still failed to find what they were looking for. I pray they weren't too disappointed. Well, that posed more questions than it answered. What do we do now? Saw's testimony is flimsy at best. I'll need more proper evidence if I want to take Canis on. Well, I think that's quite enough chit-chat for one day. Also, the dog's outside the jail cell now. Helmet will show you out. Good boy, Helmet. Go on now. He's not showing us out. Permanently, right? Let's get out of here. Come on. Until next time, Mr. Canis. It does pain me that our brief time must end, just as we are becoming reacquainted. I await your return, Mr. Edgeworth. March 28th, 1:12 p.m. Prison corridor. Kay, what are you doing? Now to gather the evidence I need to bolster my case. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth! That's the best hiding spot she could find? It's alright, Kay. You can come down now. Where's Fender? He ran off somewhere. I had no idea he could move that fast. Ugh. Fender. So, what do we do now? You and I will continue the investigation, and I just know where to start. By solving that one particular mystery that's been dogging us this whole time. Knight's body was found in one of the prison workshops. But he was presumably being detained in one of the detention cells holding cells. So how do you wind up on the other side of the heavy security doors? Let's start by investigating the holding cells. In Mr. Knight's room, right? But what about Mr. Fender? I'm sure he'll find us when he's ready. Sure, but he's kind of our boss, isn't he? Oh well. March 28th, 1:34 p.m. Detention Center. Corridor. The victim's cell is just over there. Lead the way, Mr. Edgeworth. I've just about had it. Who's that? Warden Lagarde. She must have come from the corridor marked no entry. He's still not talking, ma'am. Even with the evidence you borrowed from the precinct. No, and I've tried so many times. I've lost count. What am I supposed to do? I can't send in a blank report. I guess the killer for hire was always going to be a tough nut to crack. Killer for hire. Oh. I couldn't help overhearing Warden Lagarde, but were you just talking about Bodhidharma Canis? My, you were listening. How very gauche of you. The girl's privacy is her armor, you know. You do normally conduct interrogations of the man yourself. No, it's not just him, darling. I try to have the occasional tete-a-tete with everyone, you see. That's what it means to be a member of the family in this little home of ours. There isn't a person who hasn't made the pilgrimage to my office at least once. Your office? How sweet, he's angling for an invite. Well, I suppose it is the hottest ticket in town. It's down this corridor here, darling. But FYI, I don't just let anybody wander in willy-nilly. Let's see. That would put it right around here. It's a wonderful room, if I do say so myself. All my guests rave about it. And who would want a view of my fabulous garden and the yard? Oh la la. The yard? If it's anything like the rest of the place, it's probably full of adorable animals, right? Can I see? Oh, darling, it's so sweet of you to take an interest. But I'm afraid that's just not possible. Why not? Because you're not a member of our home. If you want to see it that badly, you'll just have to get convicted for doing something unspeakable. That's a rather steep price to pay. Oh, but listen to me, chattering away like there's no tomorrow. It's time for Allie's lunchy brunch. The poor dear will be dying. Allie? The sweetest little deer in all the world. I know I shouldn't have favorites, but you know how it is. Now to the yard with me. Ciao for now, darlings. I want to ask her more about Canis, but she dominated that conversation from start to finish. Let's go investigate the victim's cell, shall we? March 28th, 1:43 p.m. Detention Center, holding cell. So this is Knight's cell. When do you think he was brought in, Mr. Edgeworth? It would have to have been the evening of the 25th, just after the events at the lake. And then at some point, he wound up in the prison proper. But how? There must be some evidence here that'll point us in the right direction. Alright, let's get looking, Mr. Edgeworth. Keep up the good work, officer. Sir! Yep, there's absolutely no need to keep an eye on us. Because we're two great thieves of justice. You're what now? You really needn't pluralize thieves on my account, Kay. Reflected in the mirrors. A security camera! A great thief's greatest enemy. Nothing about this place is very thief-friendly, if I'm being honest. I think that might be entirely deliberate, Kay. Guard? I'd like you to retrieve the footage from this security camera and review it as carefully as you can. If you see anything out of the ordinary, inform me immediately. Yes, sir! I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. A second chance at life. Interviews with a former prisoner. Making money while serving time. You'll laugh tomorrow. An anthology. Understanding animal emotions. Life as a pet stylist. 200 days to freedom. An essay story. 3. Oh, what's a menu doing here, Mr. Edgeworth? It seems those held in the detention center are able to choose what they like to eat each day. If they can afford it, that is. Money makes the world go round, I guess. But doesn't that make life super easy for rich detainees? Well, okay, bear in mind that people held in these cells haven't been found guilty yet. Some of them don't deserve to be punished. Quite a few of them, in fact. So you're saying it's fine that people with money don't have as hard of a time as everyone else? Ugh! How did I wind up defending the practices of the detention system? Wow, that's a lot of books. Let's take a look. You'll Laugh Tomorrow, an anthology. Understanding animal emotions. Life as a pet stylist. Maybe there was more to Mr. Knight than met the eye. Sadly, I don't think these were his. They were likely specially selected and placed here for the detainees, with the hope that they would want to better themselves during their time here. Second Chance at Life. Interviews with a former prisoner. These books appear to have been written by current model prisoners and former inmates. Oh, I like the look of this one. 200 Days to Freedom, an escape story. And this one too, making money while serving time. This facility may have more deeply rooted problems than I thought. Hey, look at this weird piece of paper. There's some sort of grid on it. Let's take a closer look. The grid appears to be a chess diagram. The victims, I suppose. What's a chess diagram? A visual representation of a game of chess. See how the locations of all the pieces are marked. This seems to be a closely fought contest. Perhaps if this pawn were... No, wait. Not now, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no time to be playing games. Yes, I suppose you're right. This isn't the first time I've seen this configuration of pieces. It was from a different perspective. It was definitely the same game. Perhaps it would be wise to take another look at the evidence in my possession. Could this be related to the evidence somehow?
Eureka!
This chess game. I've seen it before. Enough with the chess chat, Mr. Edgeworth. We're supposed to be investigating here. Focus! I am investigating. This particular bit of chess chat could prove to be vital. Now, take a look at this. Can you tell me what it is? It's a chess set we saw in Mr. Canis' cell. But I don't really know the rules of chess, so... The rules of the game are not important here. What is important are the positions of the pieces. Compare the ones in Mr. Canis' cell with these. Do you notice anything? Ah! I don't know which piece is which or anything, but... If you turn the diagram like this, there are pieces in the same squares. Indeed. There's no dog on the diagram, but that's to be expected. Apart from that, however, the positions of the pieces are identical. And what does that tell us? Oh, I have my correspondence. As unlikely as it may seem, Mr. Canis' chess opponent was... Mr. Knight? This could be just the proof we need to show that Mr. Canis had a connection to the victim. The bowl is nice and spotless, and there are no signs that toilet paper has been used. Everything seems to be in order with this toilet here. What? Are you serious? Why? What's wrong? There's no door! There's not even a curtain! Whoever designed this place should have thought a little bit more about the people who have to live here.
I think there might be a reason behind the open plan layout. Standard barred window, no signs of it having been tampered with. I don't think there's any chance our killer escaped through here. Aha! Must be able to bring something to saw through iron bars with. As they say, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Glad I got the chance to scope this place out. Hey, we're investigating a crime scene, not preparing for your eventual escape. I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Hey look, this newspaper's got a chunk of it missing. You're right. A few of its pages have been roughly torn out. But why? Maybe Mr. Knight wanted to clean his cell but didn't have a cleaning cloth. It's not a totally implausible theory, I suppose, but who would try to clean their cell? This bed doesn't look very comfortable. But that pillow cover is very clean. Spotless, in fact. I bet this is the kind of bed Gummy sleeps in. I can just picture it, can't you? No, I sense he's more of a mattress on the floor type. This must be Knight's suit jacket. So I've been doing some research of my own? Oh, and what have you discovered? I've discovered that guys who look good in suits tend to be popular with the ladies. But don't worry. Guys with frilly neck ruffles are next to my research list. Please stop. There's something different about this spot here. This part of the floor is weirdly clean. Did someone wipe it down or something? Why would someone only do the part next to the bed, though? All the logic segments so far in the second game have been pretty straightforward because they only ever have like 2 or 3 pieces of evidence at a time. This part of the floor has been wiped clean. Maybe he spilled some grape juice? Who knows, but we can certainly imagine what he used to do with the wiping. The torn out pages of the newspaper. Why won't he just ask a guard for a cloth or something, though? Perhaps he didn't want anyone to see what he was wiping up. I think we're about exhausted the cell. We've made significant progress by establishing a connection between Mr. Canis and the victim. This is bad, sir! Is that the guard? The security camera footage, sir! I watched it and... What is it? Can you show it to us? Yes, sir! I have a small playback monitor with me. And what are you waiting for? Let's see it. What's that? That black thing! It's that dog, right? Until now, our assumption was the crime had taken place inside the prison proper. But it seems that assumption may have been wrong. Knight had actually been attacked in this location.
Take that!
Right here in the detention center. And the perpetrator was indeed Mr. Canis' dog. This is just the evidence we need. And if this is where Knight was actually murdered, then one of the pieces of evidence we found here in the cell takes on a whole new meaning. If Knight's cell was the crime scene, which piece of evidence takes on new significance?
Take that!
The floor of Knight's cell was wiped clean, presumably to remove something. That something had been his blood. Thank you, officer. Would you mind doing me one more favor? Name it, sir! There's a detective by the name of Gumshoe somewhere in this facility. I need you to give him a message. Tell him to have the cell tested for traces of blood, and to report the results to Edgeworth. You got it, sir! Thanks for the stretch, Kieran. Sit up straight, you guys at home. Make sure you're well rested and keeping your joints happy. Now I can really go over that Canis guy, right, Mr. Edgeworth? No, not yet. We still don't know how Knight and the dog move between his cell and the prison proper. Right, so that's what we need to figure out next. What's the play, Coach? Where are we off to? I suspect one of the guards may know something. We should ask those posted nearby and see what they have to tell us. March 28th, 2:15 p.m. Detention Center, Corridor. Okay, time to get asking. Huh? Thanks for the tour. Later. Well, Mr. Prosecutor's little friend. I didn't expect to run into you here. Must be my lucky day. This is Agent Shilong Lang of Interpol. He was in charge of a case I worked on 2 weeks back. I thought he'd gone home to Zhengfa after that, but here he is. You got some business to take care of, I take it, Agent Lang. You could say that. Nothing that need concern you, though. First a black hound, now a wolf in all black. Hey, wait, why are you all alone today? That's true. He's usually accompanied by an army of police officers. I hear you were at it again a couple days back, sticking your nose into things. A couple of days back? Ah, he means the incident with the president of Zhengfa. Actually, I thought you might be there as well, heading up the security detail. Ha! Our president doesn't have much faith in the efficacy of his own country's police force. Maybe now he'll think twice before using contractors again. Amateurs. Agent Lang doesn't have much faith in prosecutors or the courts to do their jobs right, which is why he's so meticulous about investigating with his hand-picked cream-of-the-crop officers. Indeed, no doubt things would have turned out differently had you and your men been in charge. My men, huh? Yeah, those guys aren't around anymore. What? They're not. It's funny, isn't it? I'm a real lone wolf now. Haha. What are you saying, Agent Lang? What on earth happened? I told you, it doesn't concern you. See you around, Mr. Prosecutor. Wow, he seemed not okay. Yes, I would very much like to know why, but there's nothing we could do about it right now. We'll worry about Agent Lang later. We have an investigation to conduct. Alright, let's start by talking to these guards. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I figured it out, Mr. Edgeworth. I found the flaw in the security to this place. Oh, go on. Do enlighten me. Well, you might think there's nowhere to hide around here with all the people watching you 24/7. But if you know where to look, there are plenty of places where you can give the guards the slip. By sticking those blind spots, anyone can make it. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear any of that just now. There's no need to pretend I have no interest in these numerous hiding places themselves. I'll have to keep my eyes and ears peeled if I'm to learn any more about them. Agent Lang looked kinda lonely without all his guys, huh? Yes, something must have happened back in Zhengfa. Still, he has chosen his path, and we have chosen ours. I guess so. And step 1 on that path involves solving this case. Then once we're done, let's go put a smile back on old Wolfie's face. I'll think about it. Or I would, if I knew where to find him. It's a security gate that can detect metal objects. Am I the only one who gets a little nervous when I have to go through one of these? It's the same whenever I see a cop. I know I've done nothing wrong, but I still get anxious. Maybe because you go around calling yourself a great thief, huh? It's a door to the observation room. Observation? You mean, are they always watching us? Or maybe they're just watching you and laughing at all the weird stuff you do. Weird stuff? I'm a perfectly normal person who only does perfectly normal things, I'll have you know. These are the guards' lockers.
I bet they keep their uniforms in there. Snacks, too. Snacks, really. Well, that's what I'd keep in there if it were me. You know not everyone's like you, though, right? There's an assortment of trophies in here. Just once, I want to give someone a trophy. What sort of award would a great thief hand out? Greatest rope escape, of course. Oh, but if I enter the contest, I guess it just turned into me handing the trophy to myself. I'd worry more about finding a venue willing to host such an event. Looks like there are offices down this way. No entry, though, according to the sign. Don't they know that telling people not to do stuff just makes them want to do it more? It's human nature. I would argue it's the ability to resist such urges that makes us human. Oh man, I'm in so much trouble. What's the matter? You seem perturbed. Oh, well, you see, one of my uniforms is missing. I could have sworn it was right here in my locker. Did it grow a pair of legs and run off somewhere? Where in the world did that idea spring from? Anyway, I hope you track it down soon. I'll be rooting for you. Thanks, I appreciate it. Can't get quite the good angle on this guy, there we go. I was wondering, have you seen an enormous black dog wandering around here recently? That thing? No way! If I had, well, let's just say I'd be a lot more nervous about standing guard here. So, do you and this dog have some kind of history or something? Now, okay, you should know when to let sleeping dogs lie. By the sound of it, Canis' dog hasn't been spotted on this side of the heavy security doors. Hey, hey, hey! Are those my faithful assistants I see before me? Bender. And where exactly have you been? Where have I been? I've been looking for you two! Been searching high and low. Wandering lonely through the prison halls. It was terrible, I tell you. But the prison's over there on the other side of the facility, boss. So listen, I just got the lowdown on some seriously dynamite material. You want to hear it, right? Right? Seamless. I was chatting with a few of the guards. They told me something très intéressant. Turns out the Bronxer had himself a little incident 2 days ago. Pre-mortem if you catch my drift. An incident? Simeon told you he came to visit his pal, right? Well, it happened right after they wrapped up, when Bronk was being escorted back to his cell. There was just one guard and he was handcuffed, obs. They made it back and the guard was taking off his cuffs when the Bronxer clobbered him, knocked the poor guy out cold. Sounds like it might have been the prelude to a jailbreak. Because when the other guards showed up, they couldn't find their comrade's keys. Were there any rumblings about Knight attempting an escape? That's the bit that fries the old noggin. There were none. He just sat in his cell, then turned up dead. What's more, he swore right to the end that he never stole the keys. He turned his cell inside out too, but no dice. The guard who was struck, what did he have to say? Nothing. Poor guy was still out when they took him to the hospital. Word is, he's still there. So there's nobody around to tell us what really happened. What the? It's you losers. That's all we need. Why are you still hanging around here like a bad smell? Hey there, little buddy. Listen, Miles here is working with me now as an associate. Nonsense. You are all here just to cause trouble and turn my investigation into a fart. Eustace means farce, of course. Slip of the tongue. Seemed like a reasonably apt choice of words to me. Judge Cabell, great to see you again. I know who you are. You're Simeon State's attorney. Guilty as charged. Now we've broken the ice, how about a friendly... No, we're not. I'm totally cool either way. Now, did I hear you correctly? that Mr. Edgeworth has joined the defense team. Yep, and me too! We're officially employees of Edgeworth and Company. But a prosecutor is a public servant. You would draw your sword on the goddess to work for personal gain. It's not a problem if I'm getting paid, though, correct? Exactly! What he said! Miles here is just a volunteer. We're all about the pro bono stuff over at Edgeworth & Co. How wonderful. So you all work without reward. The goddess would surely approve. Yeah, I'm a regular philanthropist. Judge Gavel, I was hoping to ask about the grounds for Simian Saint's arrest. That information is on a need. Is that a challenge I hear? No, I was just asking Judge Gavel. I'm always ready for a little verbal combat to show you what it takes to be a real winner. How is it verbal combat if you won't let me speak? Still, this could prove useful. Fine, we'll do as you suggest. Now, if you could begin by telling us why Mr. Saint was arrested. There will be no need for that. Eustace, we should... Haha! Not now, Gavel, watch and wonder. As I put this pathetic prosecutor in his place, he's gonna run rings around me. I think you meant to say you would be the one running rings around me. That I will! So badly your ears will be ringing. Prepare to be humbled, Edgeworth. Reason for arrest. You want to know why I arrested that man? It's simple. I found evidence of him all over that thing. How's that for some wittingly conclusive proof? And who saw the truth first? Why, me, of course. Winner by name, winner by nature. Where do I even begin? Look at you, utterly lost for words in the face of such mastery. Now take your silence as yet another win. Honestly, does he ever shut up? You said that you were the one who arrested Mr. Saint. But do you even have the authority to do so, Mr. Winner? Why, obviously, it was the police who actually arrested him. But I told them to do it, so I think I can claim the credit, don't you? Of course that's what he meant. Ugh. This is clearly gonna take a while. Shame, really. Given that I'm much more interested in what Judge Gavel is silently thinking over there. You want to know why I arrested that man?
Hold it!
I'm just checking, but you do know who it was you arrested, correct? Is that some kind of joke? Of course I know who I arrested. It was, the Simian Saint. Good to know he remembers that much, at least. I had rock-solid grounds for arresting Simian Saint. First-rate reasons.
Hold it!
Rock-solid, you say? I'm impressed. Hold on, I know what you're doing here. You're trying to butter me up. Well, it might work on the chumps you meet in court. But it won't work on me. Oh! The evidence we found is certainly rather damning for Mr. Saint. Perhaps you should tell Mr. Edgeworth about it, Eustace. Damning is right, and it was on the strength of that evidence I decided to arrest him. It's simple. I found evidence of him all over that thing.
Hold it!
Evidence of him was all over that thing. Could you be a bit more specific, Mr. Winner? Do I really have to spell it out for you, Edgeworth? I'd hope even you could put 2 and 2 together. Stop messing around. The onus is on you to provide a comprehensible testimony. Come now, Eustace. I'm sure Mr. Edgeworth and his friends will be very interested to learn how you cracked the case. They certainly look keen to hear about it. Fine, if you insist, I'll fill in the gaps. Brace yourselves, because this is gonna blow your little tiny minds. I bet you didn't even know, but the victim had, wait for it, a chess set with him. And that chess set was covered in the fingerprints of a certain Mr. Simian Saint. Praise be to the Goddess of Justice for the insight she offers, and congratulations once again, Eustace. You would not object to Eustace amending his testimony, I trust, Mr. Edgeworth. No, by all means, please do. Mr. Saint's fingerprints were right over there, all over the victim's chest set.
Hold it!
But you weren't the one who actually found his prints, were you? Of course not. I'm a prosecutor. I leave the dirty work to forensics. The fingerprints are certainly a problem, but then that chest set was. I should take another look at the evidence. How's that for some winning, incontrovertible, conclusive proof?
Hold it!
The only incontrovertible fact here is you don't know how to get a proper testimony. What are you talking about? It's not my fault you can't keep up. Oh! Perhaps I could be so bold as to offer some additional details. The only fingerprints found at the scene belong to the guards, the prisoners, the victim, and Mr. Saint. I think you'll agree that Mr. Saints were the only prints that had no business being there. Yes, exactly! Now do you get it, Edgeworth? I do, but I'm not so sure about you. There were other prints belonging to the victim and the guards, but it's only Mr. Saints were out of place.
Hold it!
There were other prints at the crime scene. Should those people be suspects too? Other people? I don't think so. Why not? Had Mr. Saint's prints not been found on the chest set, those others would indeed have been suspects. Yet somehow his prints were there, despite the fact they had no business being there. Oh! Exactly! Which means Mr. Saint was, He's neither a prisoner nor a guard. Therefore, he should not have been able to enter the prison. Finding his prints in a place he shouldn't have had access to is grounds enough for an arrest, no? Yes, what she said, not bad, Gabelle. You are too kind. Now who saw the truth first? Why, me, of course! Winner by name, winner by nature.
Hold it!
You saw it first, and I suppose you could prove that. I made the connection the moment I saw the crime scene. It was a lightning fast deductive leap. What more evidence do you need? Well, you haven't given me any evidence at all so far, so... You still don't get it, do you? Well, don't worry, we can't all be born winners. Hey Trim, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. Hey, awesome guy. Hey, no reason. Hey, Trim. Hope you guys are all doing well today. Thank you so much for dropping by. Let's write you a shout out. Please join us in following Trim Fandango. He's an amazing streamer. He's a Blade-themed Vtuber. He's also an amazing singer and an awesome gamer. You gotta go check him out. Please go check out all his musical covers as well. His voice is amazing. Hope you guys are doing well. What were you playing today? Did you have a good time? I'm Kiro, the frog-themed martial artist. We're playing some Ace Attorney Investigations 2. We are almost halfway through episode 2, and we are currently arguing with this schmuck here. Feel free to sit back and relax, or go take care of yourself after your stream. Oh, you're playing more FF14. Nice. You're doing Hildebrand quests. Nice. Hildebrand's always fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm not sure I even want to get whatever it is he's talking about. I figured out in a flash, a matter of light years, the winner wins again.
Hold it!
Are you sure you mean light years, Mr. Winner? Maybe? Yeah, thanks for dropping by, Trim. I hope you enjoyed this game when you play it too. It's really, really good. Light years are a measure of distance, not time, Eustace. An easy mistake to make. Oh! What was the pause for? Was he rebooting from a blue screen moment? Well, that was kind of vague and really hard to follow. Indeed, perhaps I'd better start by teaching him how to properly express himself. Don't hold back, Mr. Edgeworth. Knock him to shape. Yes, his testimony has been changing this entire time. I also love how his little ahoge is like shaped like a question mark, and then when he gets surprised, it turns into an exclamation mark.
Objection!
So the fingerprints on the chess set are the ace up your sleeve.
The what up my what? Oh, yes, the chess set up the ace's sleeve. That's right, Edgeworth, I got a winning hand, as usual.
Only your winning hand is a busted flush. Where you see, it was Simeon Saint who brought that chess set to the victim in the first place. Therefore, it's only natural his fingerprints are all over it.
Oh!
That took a while to sink in. In conclusion, those fingerprints aren't proof of anything, and Mr. Saint's arrest was premature.
Premature?
The incident took place here within the walls of this facility. Being neither a guard nor a prisoner, it makes very little sense to suspect Mr. Saint.
Oh!
Now what?
I think you might be the premature one here, Edgeworth. And I think you were the one accusing me of being hasty.
Did he only just work out what that word means?
Sure, I identified Mr. Saint as a suspect faster than pretty much anybody else. And I won the race when it came to picking out the crucial evidence too. I'm quick on the draw, you see. But hasty? Not at all. You're right that Mr. Saint isn't a guard or a prisoner here, but he was.
Overruled.
Eustace.
Judge Cavell.
But out, Cavell, I had him right where I want him. Forgive me, Eustace, but if I may, while the particulars of the suspect are indeed fascinating, don't we have something a little more impressive to share with the prosecutor? Something more impressive? If you wouldn't mind, Mr. Edgeworth. Eustace made an ingenious deduction concerning the murder weapon. Perhaps you would like to hear it. Yes, of course, that. Well remembered, Cavell. Listen to this, Edgeworth, and prepare to be amazed.
Objection!
Will this ingenious deduction explain why Mr. Saint was arrested?
Let's just say you won't be disappointed.
Judge Cavell deliberately diverted the conversation away from my line of questioning. What exactly is she up to? The whereabouts of the murder weapon.
Fact 1, the murder weapon was some sort of metal blade. Fact 2, potentially deadly blades are strictly controlled within the prison walls, as we both know. From these two facts, I concluded the weapon in question must have come from outside. It must have been hidden inside the chest set. That's what I think anyway. And since the only prints we found in the chest set belonged to the victim and the suspect, I'd say it's blindingly obvious who brought the weapon in and used it, wouldn't you?
If nothing else, his testimony this time is a little more comprehensive than the last. And the correct music was playing this time.
Another winning deduction brought to you by one winner Eustace, Prosecutor Extraordinaire.
More like one winner, useless prosecutor extraordinaire if you ask me.
But how could anyone even hide a weapon inside that chest set? Good question. Why don't you take a look for yourselves?
Inside the chessboard? I suppose there's only one way to find out. There's nothing in here but chess pieces.
That laugh is really something.
He seems pretty convinced the weapon was hidden in here somewhere. I'd better take a closer look. What? The stiff lining at the top opens like a flap door.
Whoa, there's plenty of room in there.
Indeed, more than enough to hide something like a small knife.
Ingenious, no? The killer snuck the weapon in by...
Objection!
Huh.
What do you mean, huh? Let me finish, will you?
I fear you've not been listening, Mr. Winner. Or perhaps you've simply forgotten. The detention center is outfitted with a security gate.
Oh, huh? I mean, yeah, and... The security gate also acts as a metal detector, Eustace. We must pass through another on the way into the prison itself, remember? Oh, yes. That's right, of course I remember.
He definitely didn't. Would have been impossible to smuggle a metal blade through such a gate and into the facility.
which would seem to blow a rather large hole in your reasoning, Mr. Winner.
Overruled.
That gate is only used to scan people. Any items they bring into the facility are only subjected to a cursory check. Are you telling me the chess set wasn't put through the metal detector? It should have been. Alas, it seems the guards have grown a little lax in that as of late. Very good. Thank you, Cavell. It was my pleasure. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, if you would be so kind as to begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination? It's like she's holding a trial. Well, no matter. Let's see how well this ingenious deduction of Mr. Winner's holds up, shall we? Fact 1. The murder weapon was some sort of metal blade.
Hold it.
Metal blade, you say? And do you have any evidence to support this? Ha! You mean you didn't even look at the victim's injuries? Why am I not surprised, you third-rate? Fatal blow was a stab wound to the neck. It was delivered by a knife-like blade. That much is absolutely beyond doubt. It appears they're not yet aware of a certain other piece of information. Haha, lost for words, are we? Then I'll just keep going. My brilliant deductions don't end there, you know. Fact 2. Potentially deadly blades are strictly controlled within the prison walls, as we both know.
Hold it.
The fact that such objects are strictly controlled doesn't mean they're actually forbidden. Well, no, I mean, some of the prisoners use scissors to cut the animal's hair, and that avenue of inquiry was conscientiously pursued, as you no doubt recall, Eustace. Yes, of course, only one bladed object has been signed out by a single prisoner at the time of the incident. The item was tested for traces of blood, but none were found. I suppose he's referring to the scissors Mr. Sawt was using. So there's no way the blade in question came from inside the prison. From these two facts, I conclude the weapon in question must have come from outside.
Hold it.
Outside? What does that mean exactly? Aha! The opposite of inside, you numbskull. Was that an attempt at clarification? Or put down? Because it clearly accomplished neither. What Eustace means to say is it must have been brought in from outside the prison. By Mr. Saint. Honestly, Edgeworth, if you haven't figured that out by now, then you're an even bigger loser than I thought! The feeling is mutual, believe me. Mr. Saint clearly brought the murder weapon into the prison. The question is how? It must have been hidden inside the chess set. That's what I think anyway. On a side note, I read in the developer notes that Eustace's uniform here, the blue one, is supposed to be from Themis Legal Academy, the same academy from Turnabout Academy in Dual Destinies. However, you'll notice that his outfit is not the same as the ones the prosecutors wear. It's because, according to the devs, they changed the uniform between his time there and Dual Destinies.
Hold it.
But no murder weapon was found at the crime scene, and there's nothing inside the chessboard either. I'm curious, Mr. Winner, do you also have thoughts about where this weapon might be? Well, the perpetrator must have hidden it somewhere in the prison. Is there a problem with this claim? They hid it somewhere inside the prison. That seems unlikely. He walked so Hugh O'Connor could run. So it's like an updated uniform? Well, actually, it's the other way around. It's Eustace's is the outdated uniform, because this takes place before Turnabout Academy. In fact, I could prove that's not the case. What evidence suggests the murder weapon isn't hiding somewhere in the prison?
Take that.
I'm starting to worry about your memory, Mr. Winner. Didn't you and the good judge search the prison with Warden Lagarde? Did you fail to find a likely murder weapon? No! Well, yes, but I guess we just missed it, that's all. Wow, way to undermine yourself. You're saying your search wasn't entirely thorough. You, the so-called winning rookie. Stop making fun of me! Eustace. Oh! Calm yourself. Breathe deeply. Do not allow your opponent to get under your skin. You're right. I'm a winner. Why should I let a third-rate loser like Edgeworthless here get under my skin? I'll thank you to leave my name out of this. Well, I'm K. Faraday, and I'm A-OK! Not you too, please! Look, it's simple. Since my first-rate investigation didn't turn up any weapon, it means there wasn't one to find. Which leaves only one possibility. The murderer took the weapon with him when he left the prison. That's why we couldn't find it when we looked. Obviously.
Objection!
What are you proposing is impossible? And this proves why the culprit could possibly have taken the weapon out of the prison with them.
Take that!
Hey, Isaac, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for stopping by. More memory trouble, Mr. Winner? Now you're forgetting things you yourself said. Are you making fun of me again? Oh, so you remember what I said. But perhaps you might have been better served by remembering this. Oh! What's that? Wait, does he seriously not remember? It would certainly seem that way. There's a security gate at each of the entrances to the detention center and the prison proper. Coming from the prison, anyone leaving the facility would have had to pass through both of them. 2 gates, both fitted with metal detectors. No, wait! Now I remember! Looks like he got his memory back. So as you can see, there's no way anyone could have taken a weapon through both gates. Therefore, there's no way the murder weapon could have left the building. Ah! In which case, Mr. Edgeworth, perhaps you would care to tell us where you think the murder weapon might be. It's still here on the premises. That's the only plausible conclusion to be drawn. But we searched the prison from top to bottom and couldn't find anything. Because you were never going to find anything to begin with. Not when you were laboring under misconception it's a blade you were looking for. Yeah, we know the truth about what happened to Mr. Knight. We've seen it with our own eyes. That is quite a claim. I assume you have the evidence to support it. What is the weapon that was used to commit the crime? Take a look at this, Judge Cavell, and the weapon used in the case will become clear.
Take that!
This is footage taken from a security camera trained on Knight's holding cell. Now watch for yourselves and see. Oh! What? But how? This footage captures the moment the victim was attacked by a black dog. More than sufficient proof of how he really died, wouldn't you say? Yes, it is certainly significant. So now we know that Knight was, in fact, killed in his cell by a vicious dog. The dog that moved the victim's body to the prison workshop post-mortem. We know this thanks to an eyewitness who saw the dog in the workshop when the body was discovered. Of course, I think we can all agree there's no way the dog could have planned such a crime itself. Indeed, I fear it may be his handiwork after all.
Overruled!
That's quite enough of that, Mr. Edgeworth. Judge Cavell. You are correct, this footage is an important piece of evidence. It also raises an important new question. A question I suspect you have also been asking yourself. She's right. There's one major problem with my version of the events. The black dog, the one that belongs to one of the inmates. How did it move between the holding cells and the prison proper at will? Oh! How do we answer that one, Mr. Edgeworth? The truth is, I don't know yet. Huh, of course not. Can it, Wonder Boy? You didn't even notice there was a problem.
Overruled!
Until the defense provides an adequate explanation, the court cannot accept your line of logic. That is all. This court is adjourned. But wait! There's still so much left to explore!
Overruled.
Court is no longer in session, Mr. Edgeworth. If you would be so kind as to leave the courtroom.
Court was never in session in the first place.
Once again, this court is adjourned.
Objection!
We may not have all the answers yet, but you haven't explained anything yet either regarding Mr. Saint.
What do you mean?
Just as we don't know yet how the dog made it into one of the detention center's holding cells. You can't know how Mr. Saint could have made it inside the detention center, let alone the prison either. He would have been allowed as far as the visitor's room to see his friend, but no further. So it's hard for me to conceive how he could have committed a crime in a place he had no access to. Judge Cavell, I believe it's your turn to provide some proof. Proof that Simeon Saint was able to enter the prison.
Overruled.
Huh. You wish for the court to provide you with proof. Highly irregular. But very well.
What? They actually have something.
Now seems like a good as time as any. And I suppose you've been kind enough to share your own theories on the case.
What's she building up to here?
Mr. Edgeworth, I suspect you don't know what Mr. Saint does for a living, so allow me to fill you in. He is a circus performer.
What?
Yes, perhaps you heard of the Very Big Circus. Oh, don't be so silly, darling. Of course I was. Yesterday was a very important day, after all.
Important in what way exactly? A big meeting of some kind, perhaps.
A meeting? Oh, heavens no. I couldn't think of anything worse. No, yesterday the circus came to visit. You see it now, I assume. As I am sure you are aware, a show was held yesterday for the prisoners' entertainment. A show featuring animals and performers, performed by members of the Very Big Circus.
So does that mean Mr. Saint?
Yes, Mr. Saint was allowed inside the prison as part of the show. A fact that has been confirmed beyond reasonable doubt.
No! She held onto the fact until the last possible moment. She let me run with my own theory, and only afterwards did she use it to reveal the truth. Wait.
But Elgavel, I have him right where I want him. Forgive me, Eustace, but if I may. While the particulars of the suspect are indeed fascinating, don't we have something a little more impressive to share with the prosecutor?
That must be why she steered him onto a different topic back then, too.
I got you good, didn't I, you third-rate prosecutor?
This has nothing to do with you.
Gentlemen, this court is well and truly adjourned. If I may offer a word of advice, Mr. Edgeworth. Your conduct as a prosecutor is already in question. You would do well to remember that you were removed from this case for that precise reason.
What are you trying to say?
That the committee reserves the right to confiscate your badge at any time. Should you wish to retain it, you would do well to avoid crossing paths with us again.
Is that a threat?
The goddess of justice is compassionate, Mr. Edgeworth, but she is not endlessly forgiving. Oh, and one last thing. You are no defense attorney. Abandon this foolish pretense.
Thank you for your concern. But I do not abandon anything. When I start, I finish.
Well, do try to remember that the two jobs are not one and the same. And a defense attorney is expected to develop something of a bond with their client. Next time, finding out what your client's real occupation might be a good place to start. Now, I really must be going. May the goddess of justice watch over you all.
So Simeon lied to us. Not just you two. Guy took me for a ride too. What's his deal? Whoa. You're not having second thoughts about all this, are you, Milesy boy? Sure, Judge Cabell's a tough cookie, but that doesn't mean you just give up the ghost. The defense never rests, as a wise man once said. That goes for associates, too. Don't worry, Fender. I have no intention of resting. Nevertheless, our assumption that Mr. Saint couldn't have entered the prison has been proven false. Which means we'll need to restart our investigation from square one, I'm afraid. To be continued. Isn't this case exciting? It's only the second case, too. But I really like it. We've been introduced to so many new characters. We've seen a number of recurring characters. And we've also been introduced to Fender, Winner, and Gaval, who are all very important characters in this story. Well, thank you for the stretch, Kieran. I will say, though, that when I played this game for the first time, Winner turned out completely different when I first met him here than when I thought, just looking at his artwork. Because, you know, he has that, like, he has that, like, holier-than-thou expression in his artwork, but then he's, like, an idiot. I wasn't expecting that. His relationship with Gavel is very interesting, too. And I think as the game progresses, that's probably one of the things I think is the most interesting about this game. So we'll keep tabs on those two as we go through the rest of the cases. And I also like how this game is also, or this case, it's only the second case, but we also really don't have much idea. We're technically a little bit more than halfway through according to the checkpoints, but according to time, according to what I've seen from other people's playthroughs, we're actually less than 50% of the way there. We're probably about 40 or 45% of the way there. But if you look at the checkpoints in the save system, it makes it look like we're 2/3 of the way there, which is technically not true. Just because of the way they spaced out the case. But we really don't really have much of an idea of what happened. In a lot of the other cases, in early cases of a lot of Ace Attorney games, usually you start to have some idea of what happened already once you're a good chunk of the way into the investigation. But we're still not quite there yet, despite having gone so far. And that's what I really like about this case as well. Plus, I also find Fender is a really interesting character too. I look forward to seeing what you guys think of him as we progress. Yeah, it's been fun. Let's save. That's right, folks, the Big Berry Circus is back. Your favorite circus, your favorite case. Turnabout Big Top. Thank you so much for coming by, everyone. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the raids and the bits. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all your support. And if you're new here, don't forget to check out my other VODs. All my other Ace Attorney Investigation VODs are already up on YouTube, and this one will be up tomorrow. And you can also check out my older playthroughs, like The Great Ace Attorney, or other mystery games, or some of my JRPGs, or fighting games, or horror games. Yeah, thank you so much for coming by, everyone. Let's find someone to raid. Yeah, all we're missing is a surprise old bag. Let's see. Remy is having his 2-year VTuber anniversary. He's doing a donathon. Ooh, he's playing Dress to Impress. Let's go say hi to him. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the second half of the Captive Turnabout. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye, froggy friends.